brothers. Peace. Peace.
Peace.
What
How
up?
y'all doing out there this evening?
Good. How y'all doing?
Blessed, man. Blessed.
Good.
Another day, another dollar. More money, more murder. Feel good.
Yeah. Favorite
Yes,
joint.
sir.
Favorite
Yes,
joint.
sir.
Yeah.
Definitely
Love
gonna
it.
talk about all of that. That's my joint. Yo,
That's
thank you
that's
all for tuning in tonight. Subscribe, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Continue to hit the subscribe buttons, continue the like buttons. You see it down here at the bottom of our ticker. Make sure you continue to tune in. Tell all your homies, the Discord, y'all should be pulling up right about now. Shout out to Apple, shout out to Spotify, shout out to everybody on the whole team, Mirror Music, shout out to Stacks. Shout out to my man Andrew for coming through in the clutch every single moment. Andrew comes on in the clutch, straight money shots from the side. Pause. So we appreciate him for that. Had to get that out the way. Had to get that out the way. You know what I mean? So AG, how we feeling out there? Illadelph is definitely ESCO season. It's ESCO season all year round, but we definitely celebrating ESCO season. So definitely hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Tribe. We got Tribe Boogie in the building. We
Tribe,
got
salute.
people up already. Salute to Tribe, the original engineer. So shout out to Tribe. Tracy GB in the building. Thank you so much. Thank you all for the love. Thank you all for pulling up. Tell your friends to pull up. Send it to your people. Send it to your network. Go on Facebook. Send it to your Facebook friends. Send it to everybody. Let them know that we're in the building tonight. We got a good show tonight. We're going to have fun. We have a good conversation. So with that being said, my brothers, talk to me. How we feeling out there?
Ready for this long holiday weekend, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-mm-mm. It's a colonizer's weekend.
Yo.
Hey, as long as I'm off work.
No, you know what? It's funny how this generation that's younger than us is actually so much more awakened to the fact of those things. Like, all of us grew up celebrating the 4th of July. Now they're like people our age acting like they never celebrated the 4th of July before. It's like, nah, you spent most of your life celebrating it. Yeah. But the energy seems to be like new and fresh, and it doesn't feel like our people are really with it the way they used to be with it.
Yeah. It's starting to wear off a little bit.
Yeah.
Who calling y'all fake woke?
Don't do that. Don't do that, man.
Now y'all woke. I'm laughing at niggas.
Y'all woke up laughing at me.
This thing is,
You're starting off early.
Yes, sir.
Man, have y'all been keeping up in the basketball?
Yeah.
Of course.
I've been behind, but I looked on Twitter and I saw some wild stuff. And I know we about to kick the show off, but Klay Thompson getting out of Golden State and going to Dallas. What is he? I mean, how do y'all feel about that? Because as a basketball player myself, I think Klay has fallen off the past 2 years.
Did you put yourself in the same sentence with Klay Thompson?
I did. You're going to hear a lot of that tonight. I'm going to put myself in the same sentence with a lot of people. So just be prepared for that. They say LeBron called Klay. He didn't pick up the phone, and he went to play with Dallas for less money. So what do y'all think about that, man? Y'all think this is a good move for Klay?
My thing is, I think the move was predicated on the defensive end of things because Luka got exposed a lot in the finals. And I think they wanted to get a solid on-ball defender, which after the injuries, Klay Thompson's not the defender that he used to be. But I really think that some of the move was predicated on that to get a guy who could, defend better than who they got right now. They got good rim protection and, Klay, he don't have to create any shots. Kyrie and Luka could create all the shots, for him. All he has to do is spot up on the offensive end. So that's money. But at the end of the day, what I fear is that the move was predicated to get a little bit better on the defensive end, but Klay is not who he was, 4 or 5 years ago. So
I think both teams that made the finals are really lucky that they made the finals the way that they did. I feel like Boston, almost everybody who mattered in the East was injured except for them. Giannis and Dame got injured. Jimmy Butler was injured. Joel Embiid stay injured.
Yeah. You can't really put that in there.
He lived injured. That's what he still was averaging like 30, 40 a game, like
Right.
on one big toe. Like I don't know, like what the hell.
Right.
But yeah, so
Right.
everybody was hurt. The Knicks, I mean, Sean, like the Knicks, like literally, like fell apart like an infantry unit that like got dropped in Korea in like 1967. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
how you gonna add so much to it? Just said the Knicks fell apart.
What happened to them. No, because they could have given Boston a series, and they're probably going to give them a series this year. But everybody was hurt who mattered that could potentially beat them. Even Halliburton pulled his hamstring.
He did.
Again.
He did. Yeah.
He was an MVP candidate before he pulled his hamstring, like around January. I think it was December, January. He pulled his hammy.
Right.
So they were lucky. Dallas got in because styles make fights. And it just so happened the people that they were matched up with didn't give them the problems because Luka is a force of nature. He is one of the 5 best players in the league, arguably top 3. But they were lucky in a sense too that they got a young Minnesota team that didn't know how to win. Rudy Gobert is the fakest defensive player of the year that I've ever seen. Karl Anthony Towns comes and goes. Ant's almost there, like literally almost there, but he hasn't quite figured it out yet. You know, so like they got some things that worked in their favor. And in the West, the way the West look, it's like, well, that's no guarantee that that's going to happen for a second year. And so, although I think it's a great addition, I think they're going to have to be like in similar circumstances to find themselves back in the finals, even with Clay. And that's not to knock Clay. Clay's one of the 10 best shooting guards ever.
Yes, he is. He was
back end of the top 10, but he would be like before these injuries. He was an all NBA defender. He could guard your 1, 2, 3.
Two-way player. He was one of those in that two-way player echelon that we didn't see much.
He literally ended what was left of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant's relationship in Oklahoma City.
Absolutely.
He once scored 50 points on 10 fucking dribbles. You know, so he's a Hall of Famer.
He is.
So, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion too, because he's one of the best shooting guards ever. But he's also probably one of the 5 best shooters ever too.
He is.
He is.
Yeah.
Automatic. I mean, who you put over him? I got Reggie over him.
I don't see. That's the thing.
I got Clay at 4.
There are really times when I watch Clay shoot, and I can see instances where I can see him out shooting Curry. And so, as a shooter, I feel like Ray Allen has a sweeter stroke than Steph and Clay.
Walter Ray Allen has a much sweeter stroke.
Yeah, his stroke is so sweet. So I would probably go Steph, and then I would go Ray, but I might go Clay after that. Because I think
here's the caveat though. Clay's never been in a position where he had to create his own shots. You know what I mean? He had the luxury of playing with the best shooter ever. You know,
off screens,
the best shooter ever also had the luxury of playing with him. Like Clay is bailed.
That's true.
A lot of times.
That's true.
Give me Reggie though. Give me Reggie.
Yeah, I got Reggie and Ray and Steph above Clay.
I don't know if I can give it to Reggie anymore.
Really?
Why? Really?
Why?
Like Reggie has had outbursts, but like I don't think y'all understand. Like when Clay gets on fire, like there are very few players in NBA history that get on fire the way he gets on fire. Like when it happens, like it's rare.
Yeah, it is.
Like
it is.
Like he can like conceivably like it's not like a crazy thing if he gets hot and hits 6, 7 threes in a row in the game. It's not crazy.
Yes.
Very valid. Should be afraid.
Very.
But the West is so tough. I think they're gonna just need to match up properly for it to matter.
Yeah, the West is going to be very interesting because I think it's starting to be spread out a little bit more. You have I think the Clippers going to take a step backwards unless they make another move.
Absolutely.
The Lakers, what's that?
What was funny about that? PG just traded a bad set of knees for another bad set of knees.
Crazy, bro.
Pause, by the way. Pause.
Yo, Paul, that was wild. I wasn't going to say anything. You and Coop on a roll right now. Coop saying sweet stroke. You saying one knees for another knees. I wasn't going to say anything at all because I don't want nobody to accuse me for.
Where's the hat at, Sean?
Yo, where's the hat, man? I'm gonna just do this. When y'all say, I'm gonna just do this. That's it.
This nigga got balls hat.
I'm on a roll right now. We're not 15
But
minutes.
yeah,
in.
PG don't get enough credit. With him going east, that does thin out the west a little bit.
It does.
The Clippers weren't going to win nothing because they got creaky knees. He's the creakiest of all the knees.
They do.
Of all the knees the creakiest.
If they can make one good move, it don't have to be a superstar. It can just be a star.
The only thing that they need to move is the plaza they need to inject into Kawhi's knees. Twirl it around. Because other than that, got no fucking shot.
Yeah.
That's
I'm tired of people saying that.
Let me ask y'all this about the. Go ahead, Coop.
I mean, think about this. He has 2 rings. One of them is as the 4th best player on an all-time great team. His other ring happened because the guy who was arguably the best player in the league, maybe the 2nd best player in the league, tore his fucking Achilles while he was busting your ass, by the way. He came out that game 4 for 5. All them shots was on you. He's busting your ass. And then Clay gets hurt on top of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, those are his 2 rings. It's like, man, he did a great job guarding LeBron. Let's give him, like, finals MVP. Go look at LeBron's numbers in that finals. They're the same numbers, like his career numbers. Like, he didn't stop anything.
He didn't. He
made his life difficult. He made his life difficult. That's what great defenders are supposed to do.
He did. Y'all remember that clip when LeBron was pissed that he was coming back in the game when LeBron's at the free throw line?
No, that's great, but so is 28, 8, and 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was the balance. It was good team defense. It was a balanced attack from the Spurs that year.
Yeah,
but
like, he couldn't drive to the hole because even if he drove past Kawhi, well, Tim Duncan was standing there.
Right, facts. Speaking of the Spurs, man, I'm a CP3 apologist. Man, 2 of my favorite players ever is Melo and CP3. I wanted those guys to get rings, but man, I think CP3 needs to hang it up. But how you think he'll be with Wemby? It was a serious question, Sean.
You were serious? My bad.
Yeah, I was serious.
I'm joking. I mean, what you want me to say, man? CP3 time is up, man. His time is up probably about 4 years ago. He might be 4 years past his retirement, to be quite honest. And I can't say I met CP3. And he's a jerk, man. Straight jerk. Man.
Everybody says that.
He's a jerk, man. Straight up.
Do they say that about him?
Everybody says, yeah. A lot of people say that.
He's a jerk on the court, so I mean, it kind of like fits the angle, fits what's going on. Like,
he is, man, spitting in people's face and everything. Like, he's 4 years removed from retirement, so I don't see him doing what I would say.
How many years? How many?
4 years removed from retirement.
I think when he didn't get that one in Houston, I think that was about time to hang it up.
That was it. That was it.
The Phoenix team. To be honest with you, the Phoenix team never should have let him go because what they needed last season was some heart and a point guard, like a real point guard, not Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. Those are shooters. Supposed to let shooters shoot. Yeah. Like, no. How about this? Nobody tells the assassin to hold the door. You know what I'm saying? You hire an assassin to shoot.
Yeah.
But Chris Paul could have benefited Phoenix, and Phoenix could have benefited Chris Paul. I think that's when things went awry. Because I think even inserting him into this lineup that they've had for the last couple of years, they're much more viable and valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives them defense, toughness, a point guard, a real point guard.
But he's the last. I ain't gonna say the last, but one that great of all the prototypical point guards.
No, he is. He is. He's a prototypical point guard. Yeah. That's an accurate statement of he's the last breed.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing is that I think he's actually like the transition player in terms of point guards because he's like an old school fundamental, like brilliant point guard, go get you 10 to 15 assists, like with no problem, especially like in his prime.
Yep.
Chris Paul can shoot.
He can shoot.
That mid-range is deadly.
His mid-range is nasty. Three-point game is great. His free throw game is great.
Yeah.
So I think for all the point guard stuff and for all the assists, he's a great shooter. And I think he's the one that actually, if you look at point guards, is more of that transitional player. Like, he legitimately had nights where he was going and getting 23 points and 15 assists like Magic. But he was doing it differently.
Yeah.
He's 6'1".
Until the playoffs when it truly matters. All that is great until he get in the playoffs when it truly matters.
Yeah, they doing them cats dirty on that clip show. I don't know if y'all watched it, but it's comedy, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Ridiculous.
You scoring 0 in the game 7, you're Chris Paul. Man, forget Chris Paul, man. If I see him again, smack him in his face, man. I don't like Chris Paul, man. Like real talk, man. I met him, I don't like him. I was like, yo, we about the same height.
Hey, Coop. He told Sean he didn't have a shot in the league.
Yo.
So Sean is mad because Chris Paul
He was
told him
like,
the truth.
he said, stick to podcasting, my guy.
No, man. But I saw, I was like, yo, CP3. He just did this and kept walking. I'm like, yo, it's me. This is me. This is me. I want to mush him, man.
Why is every interaction that you have? Did it ever occur to you that maybe it's you?
It could be. It could be cool.
That's the pot called the kettle black, bro. Don't do that.
Right.
Oh, no. I know it'd be me.
Exactly.
I know it'd be me.
He said, I
know it'd be me. Yeah.
Exactly.
I wake up the next day, it's like, yeah, I can't believe I did that shit, but I did. So
exactly.
Sean's still in denial.
You know, the first step is taking accountability.
Right.
So once you take accountability, you know, then we can grow. You know,
I'm still learning.
I don't think you've learned a thing.
I haven't. You're gonna hear more about that tonight. Yo,
what's going on? We ready for the corner?
Let's get in Coop's corner, man. What you got for us tonight?
I got a couple of things. Have you been following what's been going on with the BG and our friendly federal government? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So there's the word.
Yes, sir.
They've pretty much told BG that they're going to be monitoring his songs. Like, this is literally like censorship of like the highest order. And on top of that, they're telling him, as a rap artist from New Orleans, that he cannot record with felons, convicted felons. Telling a rapper that they cannot do songs with convicted felons, it's like asking NFL players to stop sleeping with white girls.
No, don't do that.
That analogy is wild.
No,
don't do that.
Like it just doesn't happen.
The feature list will be real thin. Hey, we know one thing. BG's album. Sean left. I'll tell you what. BG's album track list won't look like Rakim's.
No, this is going to be a solo mission. But this is another form of institutional racism that like goes unchecked. They are literally using his recording career and his prior convictions against him. Mm-hmm. Y'all know NFL players sleep with white girls first. Don't act like you don't know. Don't act like you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go look at like the Dallas Cowboys or like the Oakland Raiders, like team pick. Like
cool. Come on, man.
Everybody knows.
Shout out to AG.
Not new. It's not new. But this is literally institutional racism at its finest. You release a man, but you're pretty much keeping him in jail because you're pretty much saying, even though you're out, everything that you do, we're going to account for it. And if we catch you doing some stuff that we think we can use against you, we will, so we can put your black ass back in there. That's exactly what the undertone and the underlying nature of this is. Because rap music's a form of entertainment. Now all of a sudden, and this is just the place that we're at, it's gotten to the point now where you literally have to watch what you say on record.
Yeah.
Because what you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Oh no, they mean that shit more than ever. And so I don't know what we need to do to eradicate this problem, but we definitely need to start having like a real discussion about it, because like this is starting to become an issue. Now they're infringing on somebody's like personal rights, like to my opinion.
Yeah. It's crazy. Where is it coming? Is it coming from Louisiana, or is it coming from the government, period? Is it coming from,
I believe the article that I read said federal.
Damn.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So that means they're watching everything.
They literally said they want to hear his music.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's like they want to vet the music before it comes out.
Who the fuck are they? Dr. Dre?
That is crazy.
It's wild.
That is crazy.
So,
I don't want to do this.
I feel like talking shit today.
That is
how's
look,
that
man.
different from any other day, Coop?
Right.
Yeah.
You make it seem like, oh,
You know,
like
some days-
this is a one-off. Yeah,
some-
this is a one-off.
Some
Like
days are 3s, some days are 5s, some days are 10. 10.
like this is a one-off. I don't know, Coop. That's a nasty one, man. Like I was out there in NO last week. Shout out to BG. Shout out to Birdman. Shout out to all those guys, man. Shout out to Juvie. All of them, man. I was out there. I was actually in the Calio last week, and I was in Holly Grove last week, and we went to Juvie Tuesday. And it's a lot of great energy out there, man. A lot of great energy right now with that whole group. You know, they're performing this week. Actually tomorrow, I believe. Performing tomorrow. One of my guys are actually helping out down there with that. But there's so much positive energy around him right now, man. This is just something to handcuff him while he's out. You know, it's like when you telling a rapper of his caliber, someone of his ilk who speaks that talk, who talks that talk for that culture down there, you're pretty much trying to mute him. You're trying to neuter him. And that's exactly what they're doing, which is it's unfair and it's not the right thing to do. But if they're vetting every lyric and every song, why even put out music at that point? It makes no sense.
But then, how is he going to, you know, successfully and viably continue on in an inflation-riddled society?
Absolutely.
That part.
Absolutely. Now, unless that was part of his probation, unless he signed off on that saying, look, we'll give you probation, but here's the stipulation to that.
That's slavery.
Right. 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 And that's crazy. That's crazy. But what's more crazy, them doing that or him signing off on it?
We know rappers don't read everything that's put in front of them. Like, they sign a lot of stuff.
He was away for a good bit. It wasn't no nap. It wasn't no 2, 3.
Not at all.
He was away.
Not
and
at
this
all.
is just speculation, people. We're not saying that, you know, he for sure signed off on something, but we just speculating how he ended up in this position.
Like, you know, there's a point, there's a level of people who have been institutionalized that when you've been institutionalized for X amount of time, getting out's just getting out. So
big facts. Big facts.
You know, if that's the case, it is what it is. I just, you know, we just need to have our eyes open. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's it. That's it. So what else you got, Coop?
You want to know what? I think we need to move to the next thing. I can hold the other one for another day.
Okay. AG, so one of the things that I know that was near and dear to your heart was just the new music that came out, especially with the Eminem joint. You was hyper over this.
I thought it was dope. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold you.
Definitely was dope. So can you tell us
the new M?
Yeah, the new M. He went crazy. I'm not gonna lie. He went crazy. AG couldn't contain himself. He was like, yo, man, it might be the best verse of the year. And I'm like, all right, son, I'll check it out. And I did check it out. And it's a dope verse. I don't know if it's the verse of the year, but it's if he's doing this, Cool, on this upcoming album, I think he says July 12th. If he's doing this, then we might get something. I ain't gonna front. Like, he went crazy on this. He's claiming the GOAT title and everything. You know, so AG, tell us your thoughts on the song.
Yeah, it drops July the 12th, but, you know, I'm going to be transparent and clear. When July 12th roll around, the first thing I'm going to press play on is the Common and Pete Rock. So I'll just get that out of the way. But, you know, I am an Eminem fan. And when I heard this record, I was, you know, it made me feel better. The single was the single. And usually, you know, we talked about this before. This is Eminem's MO. Like, he dropped the, you know, the wacky, you know, little single or whatever to get the numbers up. And then he'll come back with a joint where he's like, you know, spitting or is more formidable. So, and that's what this was. And, you know, he had Big Sean and Baby Tron on the record, which sounded crazy similar. You know what I mean? Both of their, you know, flows and vocal tones and everything. I thought it was like Big Sean rapping both verses, but, you know, but both of them did their thing on there. And Eminem came through, you know, and he killed it. And he had some stuff to say. I mean, and as he should, talking about where he's placed on, all-time list. And I think he was specifically noting Billboard's list where he was placed at 5 because he specifically said number 5. And he talking about, and I'm paraphrasing, that he already ate, everybody on a record up above him that was ranked ahead of him. So I'm not mad at him staking that claim because, every rapper is supposed to feel like that, right? Which Jay was number 1 on that list where, it was a common narrative that he, out-rapped Jay-Z on Renegade. And he's also collaborated with others on the list, such as, Nas and Kendrick. So, I'm not going to sit up here and manufacture a fake beef saying that he's going at everybody, but he rightfully should feel that, he's misplaced. But what I will say is, even as an Eminem fan, he should feel like he's number 1, but being objective, I think Eminem maxes out at number 5, objectively. And that's like the highest I feel like anybody can put him on any list objectively and can articulate that. I don't see him being able, to me, that's his glass ceiling. I don't think he would be able to elevate any past number 5 on the list. And that's coming from an Eminem fan. So, and I personally got him number 6 on my list. So,
number 6 on what list?
You have number 6 where?
My MC's list.
I don't understand that language, but number 6 on the hip hop list.
Yeah, he's
wow.
6.
6.
See, you are part of the problem. I actually think
it is what it is.
Oh, you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. I actually think that, for one, this is a dope ass record. Let's go ahead and get that out the way. The record is dope. I like it. I like it a lot. When he raps like this, oh no, he's a top 20 MC when he raps like this. The thing about his all-time placement that still is problematic is the fact that, well, catalog-wise, and we can give it some stylistic like grievances and say that that's part of like what plays into it. You know what I mean? The obvious elephant in the room, he's white. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, his cultural viewpoint is thereby mostly different because of, even though immersed in the culture. That doesn't translate in the album category as far as the catalog is concerned, in my opinion. And it's like, where is he all time as a storyteller? Where is he all time as a lyricist? Where is his catalog all time? Where are his verses all time? And so, like I said, although he's a top 20, 25 MC, to me, the talk of even having him in the top 5 conversation is absurd to me because that's not what the catalog says.
It's not. It's not.
I mean, it's not too many people running around with 3 classics.
Okay, but not all classics are created equally.
No, they're not. But I mean, if we're just talking about how many people got 3 classics in their catalog, you can name them on probably 2 hands, and that's about it.
Rakim, KRS-One, Ice Cube, Scarface, Nas, Jay, Ghostface, Common,
Kanye.
Yeah.
Then you start running out. You could say, I know you'll get triggered, Coop, but you could throw Kendrick in that argument.
Do you think Damn is a classic?
I do. And Pac, did you say Pac?
I didn't. Pac. That's right there.
So you're in the 11, 12 category. That's still not a whole lot of people running. If we're not counting groups, that's not a whole lot of soloists running around that can stake the claim that they have 3 classics in their catalog. That's what I'm saying. My man has a legit.
Hold on. 3. Trey? 4?
3.
3?
Yes.
What is 3?
You saying Eminem has 3?
Yes.
3 undeniable classics? Like 3 undisputed classics?
The first 3.
The first 3? The first one's not a classic.
A lot of people tell you different. Album. You in the minority on that.
It's a really dope album.
I give him 2. I give him 2.
Really dope album.
Which one you saying is not a classic, Sean?
The first one. I don't think the first one is a classic. I think the first one's shock value gives it that oomph. I don't think it's a classic. I think
even if you say it's 2 and a possible, it ain't too many people walking around with that.
He hadn't even caught his timing all the way on on the first album. Like rhythmically speaking,
No, I agree with that.
he's a better MC on the second album.
Yeah.
To me, the Eminem show is his best. The third one.
Second album, he caught his groove.
I think
That was
I
like
think
that was his
I,
zenith.
I used to say Marshall Mathers. At this stage, I would have to agree with you, AG. Like at this stage, because I feel like the Eminem show is aged better than the Marshall Mathers LP.
I just think it resonates more with us. You know what I mean? Like, because like you alluded to earlier, like the subject matter we may not can like, relate to, him being white and from the trailer park or what have you. But at the same time, like Pusha T, moving all the coke in the world, can't relate to that either. But it's just a subject matter that we're accustomed to growing up in the hood, right? But like you said, fairly, Coop, you gotta like list all these other factors like storytelling ability. You may not can resonate with the story or relate. The
No,
story may not resonate with you or you can relate to it, but how of a good storyteller is he? You know what I mean? And these intangible things. So you was fair in that regard, saying, okay, subject matter aside, just him as a rapper or MC, where would he rank? And dude
like
is a spitter. You know what I'm saying?
no, he's a spitter. So it's like lyrically is not what I'm talking about, and I'm not even necessarily saying storytelling because I actually think when he does actually tell a good story, when he tells a good story, he's a top 10. Like without any of the frills and the antics and the voice changes or any of that. When he actually just
That
tells
hurts him
a
more
story.
than it helps him with us.
Well, no. I mean, what I'm saying is that when he actually tells a story and tells it well, like he's a top 10-ish storyteller, but that's only when he does it. He
Yeah.
spends a lot of the time engaged in the antics and lyrical gymnastics part of the craft, and there's nothing wrong with that. Redman did that successfully. Busta
He does.
Rhymes
M does it too much.
successfully.
M does it too much.
I do feel like there's some overkill going on, but there are some things there. But I mean, at the end of the day, when we look at our greatest MCs, most of them are the holders of the greatest catalogs too. It's not coincidental. Like, you know what I mean? It is like that's the big joker. Like the big joker in all this is in your catalog. It's like lyrically, where is he? Can you put him on a Black Thought, Lupe, Rakim, Nas, Big
Well,
Pun,
I was
rap
I,
type
I was
players?
going to ask you that. He rhymed alongside Black Thought and most during the cipher and
Yes.
held court. Like, let's keep it a buck.
No. And I agree with that part of it. And nobody's ever tried to take that part of him like it's like that. Like, no, that's when he's in that conversation. Is
But
because
you're saying he doesn't do it enough.
I'm saying he doesn't do it enough, and I'm saying the catalog doesn't reflect that he's done it enough either. Like, you know what
Can
I'm
I
saying?
ask
Like,
you this? Do you count the material on the 8 Mile soundtrack in his catalog? Because I think that's some of his best stuff too. Rabbit Run
yeah,
might be my favorite Eminem M song.
Rabbit Run is probably one of his finest mic performances too. I love Rabbit Run, but how many Rabbit Runs do we have?
Right. You don't have many where he's spitting, but that era of Eminem show and 8 Mile, I think that's for me, that's what resonated most with me. And I think that if you wasn't if you was of our race, and I think that era would be where you could connect with Eminem the most during that time when he was running with 50, doing those features, those songs and stuff. I think, those was the times that, we could resonate with him the most.
No, and I'm not saying he's not great, but even at that time, it's like if you were to look at it, it's like I could name probably close to 5 guys in that era that were probably better. Like that's a prime Ghost, that's a prime Common, you know.
But the names you're pulling though, like put it
50,
like this: during that
there's
era, it
50.
wasn't. But what I'm saying is, during that era, it wasn't too many people rapping alongside Lloyd Banks out rapping him. And Eminem was one of those people.
I don't think that was that hard though.
He can out rap anybody on the
Banks?
record.
Yeah.
You don't hold Banks high like that? Banks is a beast, bro.
I think he had a moment. He had a moment.
I think he's a dope ass lyricist, but I don't know like if I would put him I wouldn't put him on that highest tier.
No, not on the highest. He's on the next one down.
Listening to Banks for a whole album, you become tone deaf. It's just so many punchlines.
It's his voice. It's his voice.
Well, guess what? That's what I was about to say about Eminem too. What about his voice, y'all?
Doesn't have a good rap voice.
He doesn't have a good rap voice. We talk about this all the time. If you go look at our greatest MCs, go look at their voices. It's some of our best voices.
To me, that's the things that keep Kendrick and Eminem from. I think for those two in particular, that's their biggest Achilles heel is their voices.
Yeah, like voice matters in this, just like it does
Yeah.
in R&B and in rock and roll and in popular culture. It's like, well, the motherfucker that can sing the best, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Who sounds
Yes.
the best? Who
But
sounds
now
the best?
shout out to him for
Like
changing
singing.
it though, because to be original, because when he first came out, he sounded a lot like AZ, and that wasn't going to fly, because that Infinite album is rapping a lot like A.
Yeah.
Phone Tap's one of his favorite records.
Yo, AG, get the super chat, please.
Super chat from Starscream 5K. Appreciate the $5 super chat. King Crooked and Jarrell Ortiz Tapestry is fire. Yes, it is. Love that album. I've been playing it a lot.
Yes.
Ariana with the $2 super chat. M got more than 3 classics. Wow. I don't know about that one. I can't even try to push that narrative. I'd like to, if you could put in the chat what other classics you think that Eminem have, drop those in the chat, please.
Yeah. Got one more.
Andrew Williams with the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Fellas, we have to stop calling everything classic. Eminem don't have any classic albums. I never heard anybody say that his albums are all time. I'm sorry, bro, but you might be a little bit sheltered on that one, because there's a lot of people that say at least Eminem has at least one classic in this hip hop sphere.
Like, how about this? Do you think the Eminem show's better than Damn?
I think
For me, that's a slap boxing match right there.
It's close, right? So
Yeah.
when you're saying people are running around and calling Damn a classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we just call it a classic?
Yeah.
Same level album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we have it.
But to me though, if I'm being objective as far as catalog, that's Eminem's best performance versus what I consider to be Kendrick's second best performance, if I'm being objective. I think they're comparable.
I think Damn is his most playable album, and that's intentional. And I feel the same way about the Eminem show. Like, it was
it's a good it's a really good comparison. I agree.
Yeah. Both of those albums were meant to be played. Like, maybe
Yeah,
not
like Superman. He had Superman on there.
Superman's my shit. I love Superman. It might be my favorite Eminem song.
Till I Collapse. You know what I mean? He had joints on there, man.
Say What You Say. I
Let
don't
me
care.
ask y'all
Like,
this.
Cleaning Out My Closet is a dope record.
Fire.
It is. It's one of the best, not just from his catalog, but in general. It's one of the best records ever put together.
Man,
but let me ask y'all this though: does it impact him that he has a lot of bad albums as well? Because we're only talking about the solid and strong and great albums, but does it hurt him that a bulk of his catalog is still not that great? It's no different than Snoop. Snoop got Doggy Style, and you can probably say whichever one. That's the only classic he got.
Blue Carpet Treatment is fire. I like Blue Carpet.
I'm about to say Blue Carpet Treatment. I don't know. There's Rhythm and Gangsta's pretty tough.
Last Meal's pretty good too. Rhythm and Gangsta's tough.
Last Meal's really good, but not great. But Rhythm and Gangsta and Blue Carpet,
very dope album,
man. Blue Carpet.
Very dope.
Go look at the song list on. Go look at the song list on Blue Carpet Treatment.
No, it's a dope album. But what I'm saying is,
I think it's a classic. I'm gonna have to roll with classic on it.
It's a dope album. But what I'm saying is,
name the bad song.
The thing about it is, we're holding him to a high level when it comes.
Oh, it's not Doggy Style, but it's very fucking.
No, it's not. It's not.
But man, what Vato, Crazy.
But Coop said it. He said all classics are not created equal. So that's not to say Snoop can't have a classic just because another joint he puts out is not on Doggy Style level.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We're saying Eminem. He said himself on the record, on this new record, that he's the GOAT, or he's one of the GOATs.
He implied that. He didn't say I'm the GOAT. He implied it. Like, how are these people ranked higher than me when you know what I'm saying? I basically.
AG. Some say the
he's supposed to.
All right. He's supposed to, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying we're basing that off of 2.5 classics, 2.5 classic albums. When we don't talk enough about the entire catalog.
How many classics do Wayne got when he was claiming he was the GOAT?
Oh no. But here's the thing.
Maybe one.
Okay. So I'm not going to fault Eminem for you know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
Wayne's features and hits alone.
Yeah. Another thing, it just came to me.
A better catalog.
I think Eminem's hooks hurt him a little bit because his hooks ain't going to resonate on this side.
Well, I think that's the thing about it is that even for all the things that he does so well, at the end of the day, do you think like quite frankly, the fact that he's white like still hurts him? Like let's say he has three classics. Okay,
Yeah,
Mhm.
we don't love his three classics the way we love Rakim's three classics.
correct. That's my point in
The
defending
love's not the
Eminem.
same either. The love's not the same, but I'll admit to that.
Right.
But see,
Because for every time somebody pulls out that, oh, he's in his place because he has the white privilege or whatever, you got somebody else not giving him a spot because of him being white. So to me, it all comes out in the wash.
but see,
Dude is
But
a
see,
spitter at the end of the
we
day.
can't, but
see, here's what happened.
we can't prune these artists' catalog. It doesn't matter because
Right.
if you think about it, if you look at it like this, right? If we look at M's catalog and we want to prune just the ones that he didn't do so well on, I still think it still hit the bottom line. To me, it still hit the bottom line. It's no different. Like look at the game. The game probably have one of the most consistent catalogs in the game in hip hop, but we don't talk about him in a top 10. We don't put him in a top 5. The documentary, in my point of view, is a classic album, and he
It is
has
a classic. Yeah.
and the Doctor's Advocate is right there.
Also classic.
Some people consider that a classic album,
Hmm.
but we don't talk about that enough because maybe we don't like the game or people don't like the game. I love the game, but what I'm saying is his catalog. If you stack his catalog up against Eminem's catalog, what does that look like?
But
How does
catalog
that?
is only one category in a group of categories for like, placement and contention among all time best. Granted, is weighted heavy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
Okay.
weighted real heavy, but it's only
Okay.
one
for
category.
sure.
Okay. Okay. Let's just go ahead and run it down right quick.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
First of all, as far as his whiteness is concerned, what's really happening to him is that well, because certain demographics and certain
Fact,
cultures
LP. Yeah.
run the music business, well, he has some privilege in there. But
Mhm.
what you find is that you may have that privilege in the music business, but when it comes to this hip hop shit, that privilege gets taken away because we only place him but so high because of the priv and because of the irrelatability. Is that a word? Irrelatability? I don't know if I
I don't
it's
think so.
not a word.
It can be.
But
Okay.
his skill set can't be denied. But I'll tell you, his
But
trajectory was,
relatability is part of all of this
it
though.
matters.
So
It does matter.
In
so
hip hop, it matters.
he has a glass ceiling, just like we have a glass ceiling in a lot of corporate America spaces.
Right.
He's got a glass ceiling in the hip hop space for very, very similar reasons. It's just reversed, and it's a fascinating case study. It's a very fascinating case study because that's why I brought up the Rakim thing. It's like, well, let's say Rakim has 2.5 classics to you, or 3 classics to you, or
Well,
KRS One does. I mean, look at it like this: Kane doesn't have 3 classics. We hold Kane higher than
no.
him.
Well, Coop, you're
No,
echoing the same sentiments that I said. It's just that your glass ceiling for him is a lot lower than mine. I said 5 is like his glass ceiling. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you brought up Rakim. Rakim said it himself. If Eminem was black, he'd be the Muhammad Ali of rap. And this is a person you hold high saying that. And
Rakim was
that's
he's
top.
top MC.
Yeah,
huh?
He's
top
top
five.
5 MC.
Yeah, so I mean, we can't just pick and choose when we want to take people's quotes into consideration when they're talking about our favorites. If they,
I don't.
say something when they talk, about somebody we don't hold in that regard, they've earned that equity to like, you know what I'm saying? If Rakim thinks he's the real deal, then why not other people in the hip hop space? But for me personally, I tell you what I think his
Because
trajectory was top 5. But for me, that whole era where he started producing his own beats messed him up. If Dre would have stuck it out and produced those albums wouldn't have been duds that Sean is talking about. But he had a whole era where it was mad albums where he was doing his own beats, man, and they just didn't hit like that. So to me, that's what like made him drop a little bit.
But AJ, to that point, you think about the carryover because he even had a song when he at the end of the song he said, "I say a lot of shit." He said, "I said a lot of words, but I didn't say shit." Like he said that in one of his own songs. I forgot it was I forgot which one. I think it was the fourth album, but the beat was a Dre beat.
Mhm.
and it was just like
He gets Dre beats.
I
He gets
ain't
5.
got no brains or no
Yeah.
legs. No, that song,
Mhm.
he was just rambling.
First
You
of
know
Yeah.
what I
all,
mean?
he gets
But
4 or
a
5
lot of
Dre.
MCs do that, bro. Don't
Not
make me
like that.
me
Not like
mention
The
it.
truth is somewhere in the middle. He gets
yeah.
about 4 or 5 Dre beats a project.
Yeah.
At least.
And
That's
they're
what I
high
mean.
tip Dre beats. These are the highest form of Dre beats. It's no different than Lil Wayne. How can
But
we prune out the wobbly
Okay.
era of Wayne?
Okay. So it's like this. He's not better than Nas or Jay or
no,
Big or Pop, right?
No, no,
So the immediate
no
question:
question.
Is he better
of
than
course,
Rakim?
no.
I personally have him ranked one higher than Rakim.
Damn.
But I told you, Rakim said it himself. Like what
I don't want to do the
you act like you
anymore.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. We done with that one. Yeah, send that dude back to West Virginia, man. Yo, I want to apologize on behalf of everybody in West Virginia for AG representing y'all this way tonight.
Very
This
poorly.
is
Very
embarrassing
poorly.
and very problematic.
Are
As
they
people,
allowed? Are they allowed to
listen.
vote in West Virginia? Are
Hey,
they allowed
listen,
to
I
vote in West
guarantee one
Virginia?
thing.
Yes, they are allowed to vote.
Sean told me he got a diss track to me. I guarantee he ain't gonna pull a Ross and come here and do that diss track. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that.
I got that diss track on standby.
You won't come here and do it. I guarantee you that. It'll be wop, 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 wop. If you come here. Yeah, Sean ain't gonna come here and do that. No, never that.
You are definitely Jordan's dad, man. You are definitely Jordan's dad. No, but I get what you're saying, AG. I guess I get what you're saying.
He said I
So
can't.
you have Rakim ahead. I mean, you got Eminem ahead of LL, KRS.
You faded out for a second, Coop. What'd you say?
I said you got Eminem ahead of Ghostface, LL, those guys. Ice Cube, Scarface.
Cube is number 10 in my list. Face is number 9.
So
And
you
then
think that
Rakim
Eminem is better than Ice Cube and Scarface?
is number 7. So
I really don't want to do this show.
telling me like I think you're weighing the catalog more. You're telling me you don't think Eminem can out rap Ice Cube.
Yes, but that's the only thing that he can do.
That's it.
But what do you mean that's the only thing you can do? That's the art form that we're talking about.
Hold on, AG.
There's other things.
Hold on, AG. Let's hold on for a second. Better storyteller, Ice Cube. Better album maker, Ice Cube. Better delivery, Ice Cube. Better rap voice, Ice Cube. Better content, Ice Cube. Better catalog, Ice Cube. Ice Cube. Ice Cube. Ice Cube.
But if they get on the track,
lyrically, no, lyrically, Eminem. How can you win one round of boxing out of 12 and put your hands up like you won the fight? Like, how does it, where they do that?
Coop, how you try to debate me on my list? This is my list.
Because you need help. We try to help. What we say behind the scenes?
Look here, friends.
We can help each other.
Friends don't let friends make lists like that.
Absolutely.
I don't ridicule you about your Kendrick. I don't ridicule you about your Kendrick takes.
You are not.
I don't ridicule you about your Kendrick takes.
Yes, you do.
We
all do.
I don't.
You should.
We join the chat when we do it together.
You should.
Join the chat.
You should. I don't care.
Hey, I let Coop cook because it's personal at this point.
Not
It is
personal.
But we also join the chat.
I personally happen to think that he hasn't made a good album in 7 years. Am I the only person that sees this?
He stole Coop's shocks. Those is Coop's Nike shocks.
the high heel shocks.
They were Hornets colors, bro.
They were Hornets colors, though. They were throwback Hornets colors too.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so expectations for the album.
I think it's gonna be great. I'm gonna be honest with you. If he's rapping this way and just the tone, the tone that he's setting with this album is a little bit different. If you think about it like this, his last couple of albums that he dropped, we didn't really get an idea or a vibration of what he was doing with it. I think he wasn't focused that much on those albums, and that's why I think we got albums that weren't the greatest. He had some great moments, but the album as a whole was not great. I think he's in a different groove. I think that he's motivated in making one last statement that I am still one of the best. You can call me the GOAT if you like, but I'm still one of the best. And I think that's what he's setting out to do with this album. I'm looking forward to it, to be quite honest. It might be the second album I play that day because again, Common and Pete Rock, maybe the third, because Common and Pete Rock come out on that same day. I'm going to listen to something from Nas probably that same day. And I'm probably going to listen to something else, but then he'd be my third or fourth I listen to that day. So I'm looking forward to it as well.
So, okay, AG, here's how I look at him. I actually look at him like he's low enough on the list, but high enough on the list, where he, like some other contemporaries, can still move up some with a great album.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I do feel like I feel like he has 2 classics and another great album. So he's made 3 great albums. Now, there are very, very few people walking around that have made 4 great albums. Like, very few.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird because I have him placed higher, but for me personally, I think his career is kind of what it is. I think his album would have to be, pretty amazing for him to jump up some other list at this point. You know what I mean? Just jump up some other spots on this list at this point. But you seem to think that he can accomplish that.
Yeah, because I only have him like around 22, 23.
Damn, like that look?
Yeah. I got about 25.
So for me,
Yikes.
so another great album I can move him into the top 15. Because how about this?
Yeah.
If he makes another great album, well, then we can have a conversation. It's like, okay, and I'm not being funny, being shady when I say this. It's like, oh, well, you can say in a lot of ways he's better than Kendrick. And look how people running around talking about Kendrick.
What's the next topic, Sean?
I can't do this.
What's the next topic?
Let's get the super chats real quick. AG.
I already have him ranked higher than Kendrick. If that makes you feel any better, Coop. So,
of course, you got to rank him Rock him.
I know. See, that's what's crazy about it. People think I'm a Kendrick hater. Like, I don't have him ranked higher than Kendrick.
No,
I think they're very comparable. I don't see, and to that point, before we move on, I think Eminem and Kendrick, as far as where their placement is more comparable. I don't think Eminem's even in the question with the Jays, the Nas, the Pacs, the Bigs, and those guys. You know what I mean? I don't even think it's a question. And my number 5 spot for my top 5 is a bias pick. Is Jadakiss. That's my number 5, but I don't ever think Jada ever spit a whack verse in his life. To me, he's one of the best spitters ever lived, like point blank period. He don't have the catalog to back it up, but like I said, that's just one thing that's weighted, and Jada is one of them ones. So
he's up there, absolutely. Yo, AJ, let's get the super chat.
Ill Magic with the $5 super chat. He says, as a Kendrick Lamar listener who has been arguing with the K-Dot fan base, Coop, I truly understand how annoying they can be.
You got Andrew Williams.
They're literally the worst types of niggas that you can find.
Andrew, I got something to say to there in a second. Andrew Williams with the $5 super chat. Do y'all realistically go back to any Eminem album? Yes, I do personally. Because if not, then Sean just took it off the screen, man. I was trying to. Because if not, then he doesn't have any classic. Classic is something that's timeless. I mean, for me, that doesn't apply to me because I do go back to his albums. Andrew Williams with the $2 super chat. Eminem better than Rakim. AG, stop that. Yeah. Hey, it's my list.
You should stop that.
Yeah. So with that said, when Rakim's album dropped and Eminem's album dropped around the same time, so you saying if Rakim's not it, that Rakim can drop down on your list and Eminem can move up? Cool. I'm speaking with you.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sounds like you're speaking German right now. Did you say something about moving Rakim down?
If Rakim's album is trash, does he go down the list? Because we still got the Master, we still got 7 Seal.
First of all, hold on. We don't get to have a trash conversation about Rakim versus Eminem. Eminem's made way more trash.
We're just talking about Rakim right now. Move down, because if we're talking about catalogs with a lot of duds in it, Rakim falls into that category. Let's keep it real. We have to have balanced scales. We can't apply those scales to one artist and then not apply those same scales to another artist.
Hold on. All artists have made bad albums. Our GOAT has made bad albums.
Absolutely.
The guy in second place has made bad albums. Any way you want to number those guys.
But I'm talking about multiples in succession.
Yeah, not in succession. But Eminem has the same issue that Rakim does, is what I'm saying. He's made multiple bad albums in succession.
But you didn't answer the question. We got the Master, we got 7 Seal, and if this one's not it, then what are we doing?
See, here's the thing. M's not losing ground if he doesn't make another great album for me. Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying is it's like, unless he does something better, for me, he's kind of cemented where he's at for me in that range. But what I'm saying is like with Rakim, Rakim is embedded somewhere different. Because not all classics are created equal. But
if this album is not good,
hold on. But what I'm saying is that Paid in Full is better than anything Eminem's ever made.
Absolutely.
So follow the leader and let the rhythm hit him.
Absolutely.
So it's not weighted on the same scale, and that's my problem with him being placed so high in those types of conversations, because it's like, well,
Right.
no, really, when you measure it out, it's like, does he have a better voice than Rakim? It's like, no. Impact on culture, Rakim. Lyrics. You
But
think
my
Eminem
question is
better?
not comparing to Eminem. I'm talking about Ra's catalog.
Yeah,
If
but
this
Rod's
is a
catalog. But
dud,
what I'm trying to explain to you is that Rod's catalog, because of those 3 albums, is so vastly superior to M's catalog that another dud from Rakim doesn't
I'm
matter.
not
A
talking
dud
about
from Eminem goes.
on your personal list. If Rod drops a dud, does he move down? Because you said if M drops an amazing album, he can move up. Not comparing the two albums. So does Rakim's album, the quality of it, affect his placement in it?
See, what I'm telling you is that they don't really live in the same
Me,
solar
it
system
doesn't.
like people like. That's why I'm trying to tell you is that like,
So you saying if Rakim's album is trash, he doesn't move?
no, he
I don't
made
think you
Let
can
the
move
Rhythm
him.
Hit Him. No, he doesn't move. You don't move when you do shit like that. People have to come and supersede what you do, and I don't
I
think
think if
Eminem
you're
is
going
one
to
of those
apply
people.
those rules, I mean, you build up equity by dropping classics. I agree with that, but you do have to have some sort of fairness across the board. So
But not all classics are created equal. That's the
No,
part of it that's
no.
no,
imbalanced.
but Sean brought up Snoop earlier. Snoop created Doggy Style,
Yeah,
and he is not put in anybody's top 10 list. At least I don't hear it. It's
not
because of
top
the
10,
rest of his catalog.
not top 10. But that's what I'm saying. But here's the thing about it. Here's what happened with Snoop. Snoop had Doggy Style, and then he was kind of like treading until like Rhythm and Gangster. What's the one before it?
Yeah, and I think what hurt him, he became more of a character than an MC. If I'm just being
I
honest.
mean, I think
Well,
it's the follow-up Doggy Style. You know, remember when the sophomore slump was a real thing in hip
Yep,
hop, and they were talking about the sophomore slump?
that and the Mobilarity, two worst sophomore albums ever.
It was one of those conversations that we had around hip hop around the
a mobile,
sophomore slump.
you think a Mobilarity was that bad?
It's
It was
terrible.
bad. It was bad. I'm not
Bad.
gonna lie. Work.
I tried to
Shout out
make
to Work
myself
Hard.
like that album, man. I couldn't
Me
do it.
too.
The
Me
gems
too.
that
I'm
are
not gonna front. Me too.
there's some gems on there though. Like I love Sneakers with Pete Rock.
Sneakers was dope, but
Live
the
from New York's a
Mobilarity as
banger.
a whole,
Live
it was
from New
bad.
York's a banger.
But see, that's what I'm talking about, Coop. If one of your favorites drops a bad album, you'd be like, oh man, it got some gems on it, got some joints. If somebody that's not your favorite drops a bad album, you're not pulling out like, yo, these joints was gems. They don't get that same grace, is what I'm saying. You got to be consistent across the board.
But I
No.
think
I just said I like this record.
yeah.
But Rakim is one of your favorites. Like, oh, I mean, I'm sorry, you talking about Eminem?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've also been
Yeah.
saying I don't like this track listing from Rakim. This album looks like it's not about to be good. I am being fair.
Okay, but the
He's
Eminem
just
thing
high,
though.
he's just higher because he's better for a multitude of reasons. He's better lyrically. He
Yeah,
makes
I'm
better
not.
songs. He's
Yeah,
made better
if
albums. He's got a better voice. His impact on culture is still like greater. In
yeah, I'm
terms
not
of the
arguing
hip
if you
hop
got
culture.
Rakim hired. Like that's just what my list is. But yeah, if you got Rakim hired, that's respectable. But I think the album will be. I'm hoping it'll be the
He's gonna be an
conceptual
architect.
piece that I said it was going to be, but I could be wrong. But to the one super chat, and this is just real quick about Eminem, not Eminem, but Kendrick fans. Before this battle, Kendrick Lamar is my son's favorite rapper, but he said. But after this, he said that Kendrick fans are so annoying. He like done dropped Kendrick down on his list.
You got to, man.
Worst fan base in history.
It's crazy.
That's what's crazy. I was like, that's wild. Before the battle, he was your favorite. Now, like you every time I show my son something about like not like us on Twitter, whatever, he rolls his eyes and he be in our Discord group like going off defending
You
Drake.
can't tell them anything. You can't tell them anything about this man.
Yeah,
Triggered by
it's the light
everything.
skin allegiance. I think it might be
It really
defending
is.
Drake.
There it is. Yo, AJ, get the super chats, please.
Yo, 007, shout out to you, man. Queens get the effing money. That's what's
Say it
up.
loud.
That was for you, Sean.
You gotta say it louder. I don't think everybody heard you say that shit
I mean,
louder.
you from Queens, you could do that. I'm from West Virginia, you know.
Your money.
Don't tell people that.
Absolutely.
We gotta stop telling people that. We're gonna have to change that.
All right. Tracy G with the $2 super chop. Yep, Coop Superman was fire.
It was.
Yeah, that joint was dope.
No, we'll see. I think this album is going to be really good. I don't know if it's going to be
I
great.
hope so. He needs it. And I'm not gonna sit up here and cap and act like he doesn't. He needs it for real.
I agree.
Because I think we came to a certain point because when we were coming up and we were of college age, Eminem was one of those guys. Like for me, you know, Marshall Mathers LP on, and when he did the Dead Wrong feature, the Renegade and all that, he became that guy. But in like the 2020s era, it's been like a fun thing for people to like hate on him. It kind of came out of nowhere. Granted, he was dropping some duds, but it became like I said, he didn't have that equity built up among the culture where, you know, it was just like a commonplace thing to say
AG.
Eminem was whack. And I was like, yo, that's kind of crazy.
AG, respectfully, if he's dropping duds, that's where it's coming from. That's not nowhere. There's a correlation between the poor album making quality that started.
But like I said, Rakim dropped The Master. Rakim dropped Seven Seal. Nobody ever said Rakim is whack after that.
AG, no, hold on. What I'm trying to explain to you very diligently is that no, before that happened, Rakim was still higher than Eminem.
It don't matter. If you drop a dud, you drop a dud, bro.
And I'm not, but this is the thing. If M drops a dud, that's not about to make me lower him. He's just not as high as Rakim, which means he has more elasticity. He has more room to move.
That's wild. You got to pause that.
Damn,
I don't have.
That was crazy.
He did say that. He said
we need to move on that one, yo.
And you did this with your hands.
It's called a yield spread premium, you motherfuckers. It's a yield spread premium that he has.
Don't say room. Spread and elasticity within the same 30 seconds of each other. Coop.
I'm ready to go to the next
like this. I don't know what that means. You did this.
We gotta move on, yo.
I'm ready to go. This is ridiculous.
I don't know, Coop. When you did this,
no, grow up. Just grow up. This is ridiculous. He's got more.
Yo, my bad.
Oh God, I was about to say he's got more to grow. Just go to the next segment. This is going all bad.
Sean tried to, not Sean, but Coop tried to be like T.I. use those big words like expeditiously, and he ended up coming out with elasticity.
Elasticity? No. He did this. Yo, AG, get the super chat for 007.
007, what up, man? He said, what up, fellas? Best up and coming podcast in the game. Yo, we appreciate it, man. He says, yo, I'm late to the show, but M got zero business dissing Jigga. He don't connect to the culture. I don't think that he was dissing anybody personally. Like, you know, I think he's dissing more so the publication. Like,
hadn't he done a song with Kendrick? Hasn't he done a song with Biggie?
Right, and Nas. Yeah.
Nas, Jay.
Yeah, I think it was more so a diss towards the publication. Like, y'all got me at 5. Dog. I mean, any rapper that sees a list is going to feel a way about the list if they ain't towards the top. Remember, that's why Joe Budden got his eye black. You know what I mean? We're talking about Method Man.
Crazy. Right.
We're talking about because and rightfully so, he wasn't happy with his placement on the list. So, I mean, I ain't faulting Eminem for that.
Bringing up old shit. You bringing up old shit.
Hey, it happened. My man was on the live with the joint on his eye. Like, it was crazy.
Speaking of, that's a great segue, actually, because speaking of getting your eye black, yo,
we're just gonna let Sean take the mic right now because I know you've been waiting for this. This is the moment you've been waiting for.
Look, I'm gonna give my childish response, and I'm gonna.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours, bro.
Please, Sean. Sean, have at it. Go ahead.
So check it. All right, guys. So you're here tuning with Sean. Talk. I am so happy that Rick Ross got his dumb butted. Now let me stop. Let me chill. Let me relax. Nah, I'm gonna be more. I'm gonna be more mature. I'll be mature.
This nigga went on a solo mission.
I'm gonna be mature about this. You can't go on anyone's turf and get ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Right.
You guys know I travel a lot. I actually hit Coop up one time. Coop and I had like an hour conversation a few months ago. And I said, yo, fam, I got to keep my head on the swivel. I'm in Baton Rouge right now. And my security is right there. I said, but I got to keep my head on the swivel. We had a great conversation. Coop, you probably remember that. And Coop was like, yo, fam, be careful out there. I know where you are. And I share that because when I travel, I don't really have to check in but so much because I do have a team that rolls and they take care of me the right way.
If you come here, you got to check in, just so you know.
Everybody got to check into West Virginia. I would never go to West Virginia. I check in. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Proceed.
Conversation's crazy. Check in to get your marijuana. That's about it.
Ross was playing games, and he thought he thought that going up there, you playing Not Like Us, a song that you didn't even write yourself or perform. You didn't play your
That
own
part.
disc record.
That's nasty work. Just so we're clear.
That's the
That
most egregious
is
part.
that's the egregious part. And he goes there and he think it's cute. You out there amongst these fans who really don't really rock with you like that anyhow. They already tight. You know what I mean? Every state, every city has a hood. I don't care where you are. Everywhere you go, there is a hood. And there's some hood people out there that will put hands on you if you disrespect and you violate. You know what I mean? And he went out there, his security team, they might be fired by now, but he went out there thinking that he was going to get love or thinking that he was going to be able to pull that off and go on Instagram later on and say, oh, the biggest boss win in Canada.
There you
And
go.
that's what he wanted. You know
Yep.
what I mean? He's lucky. He's lucky they didn't get the pause on him because he can't really run that well. And he was he was backpedaling. And I'm watching this. Todd said, yo, you got what you wanted. I'm like, I don't want that on me. I don't want that.
Right. When AG shot me the footage, I was like, oh God, this nigga Sean's gonna have a field day. That's my first thoughts after watching the video.
No, cool. I was elated. But then I thought about it. I said, I don't want to be irresponsible.
That is
because
wild, bro.
I can't condone violence.
Elated is a crazy word to throw out.
Elated is wild.
I
Okay.
was elated. But I don't want to condone violence because real talk violence gets violence. Because now you got someone like you got Luke who went on live and said this thing, and Luke is taking it from a different perspective. You got 50 who's trolling. You got Rick Ross' big mother trolling. You even got Keith Sweat laughing and trolling you. When you got Keith Sweat,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was trolling.
Keith Sweat was on a live with 50 trolling.
Oh,
That's a wild
He's
combination.
with 50. Yeah. Yeah.
And he had the Beijing going. He had the Beijing. He was tripping and he was laughing at Ross. So it's a nasty thing. And again, I'm not condoning violence. I wanted to see him get tapped, like, in the chin.
He
How you
did.
gonna say I'm not condoning violence? And then the next sentence said, I wanted to see him get tapped.
I just wanted to see it because I'm like, he deserved that. He needs that because he was backpedaling, and I'm like, yo, he don't got good footwork, so he might fall. And he's lucky, man. He's lucky that the security guard took the lumps. And
boy, did he take him.
And Coop, you in Atlanta. As much as you've been in Atlanta, there are spots that you have to navigate very carefully. Yeah.
Like there have been situations where I've been with my people and they've taken me places and I'm like, why don't you tell me he was going here? I would have bought my pistol. What the fuck wrong with you?
Exactly.
Then they usually go in their glove compartment and they're like, nah, we good. And there'd be like a couple in there. I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yes. To add insult to injury, it's on Canada Day. You get dumb butted on Canada Day.
Ridiculous. I'm just gonna let you talk.
I'm just saying. I don't want to condone.
No, you can do it for Dave. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't condone.
No. You know what, Sean? You right for this rant because you've held steady since day one, saying that Ross had no business, entering into this beef. Like, because we had the Kendrick and Drake back and forth, and then Ross, put himself in that beef, and you was like, he'll be a distraction. He just needs to stay out of it. You've maintained that. And then now fast forward after everything, for the most part is over, he's trying to get a song off in Canada that's not even his own song.
Exactly.
Like he's good. You know what I mean? And and if nobody would have did anything, you're right. He would have went on IG Live and he would have been like, saying this and that, trolling Drake, that, Canada ain't going to do nothing to him. But 9 times out of 10, stuff like this doesn't go well. Remember when Jada tried to diss Beanie in Philly?
Yes.
On stage, and they was like throwing.
Didn't they start throwing beer bottles and shit at him?
Yeah, I think batteries. They was throwing some heavy stuff at him.
It's a bold move.
Yeah, but usually when you do something like that, it's a bold move, and it's high risk, low reward. I don't know what you're really trying to pull with that. But I'm with you. I don't want to see any more violence come of this, but it seems like Ross needs to be taught a lesson, and you know what I mean? And I hope he learned from this. But once again, he was on IG Live afterwards, like, with the fake laugh and all that stuff, trying to act like he was okay. But bro, you on IG Live fake laughing, but your security guard got lumped up and somebody else who was with you was asleep. They had to carry him out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Carry him up out of there. I mean, they could have threw the sheet on him. Bro was knocked out. Like, you know what I mean? While you backpedaling. So it's all fun and games to something like this happen. And hopefully he'll just chill out, you know what I'm saying? Eat some lemon pepper wings and drop some music and go on about his business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Can I may I, and then we can like move to the next thing because Sean talked enough. So I'm not the strongest guy. I'm not the fastest guy. I'm not the smartest guy. But the reason I survived, and even when you was telling me where you were, Sean, and I've been to so many neighborhoods like this and have like walked out of these neighborhoods, because I show them the fucking respect that it is that they are looking for, respective to whatever fucking neighborhood or hood I may find myself in.
Absolutely.
We on your fucking territory. I'm following your rules.
Absolutely.
Because the goal at the end of the day is to make it home safely without getting that ass beat, stomped, shot, stabbed, harassed, stopped by the police, ass whipped again. Like, the whole goal at the end of the day, especially as a black man, is to avoid all of that. And so the real disrespect is actually like, he didn't follow the code of the streets, which is like when you're on another nigga's set.
Bingo.
You do what they do. You don't do what you do. If you want to do what you do, you better be ready to shoot your way or fight your way or scrap your way or stab your way or what, baseball bat, beer bottle your way out.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get your ass whooped. That's what happened. He violated the code.
Yep.
Got that ass whooped for violating the code.
Yeah.
Like,
and then the point is,
but here's the thing. He thought shit was sweet.
Right.
He found out it wasn't.
Yes.
Lesson learned.
Sometimes, and it's not to say he can't pull up there, but pull up and show that you still get love in, the op spot. Show that you still get love. Don't try to ridicule the op on their turf. Just show that you get love there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You had to have a decorum about yourself. I was in San Diego. This is like in 2004. And I remember I got the Yankee fitted on. I got the Nietzsche button. This is the button up era. Had nasty.
The Nietzsche button up was nasty. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was.
They were way too oversized, man.
They'd be like turquoise and lime.
Yeah, you had the big cuffs with the wild cufflinks.
Disgusting. Timberland dragging the floor with the Nietzsche baggy jeans. Disgusting.
Yeah.
And I don't dance. I'm on the floor just bobbing my head because they had a NAS'S joint. That was when Baby Girl, Won't You Come and Hold. I had a Virgo joint. Mm-hmm. And my crew knew, like, hey, this New York, they're playing some New York music in San Diego. And one of the homies pulled me back. He said, yo, they're about to do something. He grabbed me quickly and pulled me back. As soon as he pulled me back, this dude swung. He wasn't swinging at me. He was swinging at another guy that was across. And at the end of the night, he came in and apologized. He said, yo, if I had to hit you to hit him, that's what it was going to be.
That's wild.
I'm looking at him like, you don't want to. I had to humble myself because I'm 24 years old. I got my guys here too. I'm like, it can get real nasty here. But I had to humble myself because, again, I had to understand where I was. I could have been real crazy and be like, you ain't going to do nothing. Like, I don't care who you swinging at. If you would have touched me, it would have been a problem. Couldn't do that. Yes, sir. Yeah. That's my response. Yes, sir. That's it.
That's why. Okay, so look, one time I was in Dayton, and I was with one of the OGs, except for like the dudes in the club that was my age. They didn't know I was with OG. You know what I'm saying? And so niggas is flexing on me. You know what I mean? Like hard. At the end of the night, because OG like literally knows the owner of the club. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm sitting down with OG, and one of the dudes that was flexing on me all night, he's like, oh, I didn't know you was here with him. He's like, it'd be different for you out here if you wasn't here with him right now.
Facts.
Like, to my face, told me that.
Yeah.
Now, did I like that shit? No.
No.
Did I understand that shit?
Word.
Yes.
Did I understand that shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
My ex-wife's friend had 4 fucking homies get murked while we was there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We sitting down with her, and she like, 4 niggas done got popped this week that I knew, Coop. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm on turf like that, turf rules.
Govern yourself.
Like you say, you got to know the code.
Know the code. Govern yourself. Yeah.
Shake hands. Be respectful. Walk the fuck away.
Walk away. Walk away.
Walk away.
Yeah. Ross,
See,
if you hear this,
he pulled up on the block, tried to put on a fur coat, and do a fashion show on these niggas, like tap dance on these niggas. Like, no.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ross, if your fat ass hear this, understand this and understand this clearly. If you need some consultation from Hip Hop Talks, we're here to help. All right. Because
next segment. Next
segment. He lucky he didn't run into the game. If he would have ran into the game would have beat him up while holding the camera and putting it on for all of us to tell. Right? So again, Ross, if your fat ass hearing this is Sean. Queens get the money.
And, and black people need to understand this too. Like, I have a friend, and their friend like runs like one of the biggest like territories down here in Georgia, and they some white boys.
Yeah.
And this white boy that I know, he the type of white boy you play with. Fuck that color shit.
Yeah.
Any type of dude that you play with. You don't play with his time. You don't play with his money. You understand what I'm saying? Better not play with his money. Better not play with his woman either. It's all bad for you.
Yes, indeed. Have some decorum.
So don't think because it's like Canada and it's like a whole bunch of French Canadian.
They get busy too.
And all their favorite Ross songs is probably with Drake.
That's it.
Like,
and there's a fair amount of that.
I wonder what his set list look like. You know what I'm saying?
Drake. Yes. So speaking of weird shit, BET did an Usher tribute, and I don't want us to harp on this because I want us to get into our main topic. But the thing that bothered me, fellas, was the fact that they didn't have not one male R&B artist to sing an Usher song up there. I'm all about inclusion. I'm all about diversity. I'm all about all those great things. And the women who sang and get the tribute to Usher were phenomenal. All great talents. But I wonder if this is more of an indictment on the male R&B landscape that we're seeing right now, or this is another. I don't want to use the word agenda, but something that is pushed by BET and the algorithms. Where this is the second time they've done something like this, where they only plugged a specific group to do a tribute. And if you guys remember the tributes in the back in the day, it was like the who's who doing a tribute. Didn't matter who they were, no matter their color, their race, whatever, gender, all of that. It was all, I'm gonna get the best to represent the best that we're honoring tonight. And I was just kind of disappointed that they didn't get a chance to get someone like who might be the closest thing to Usher when it comes down to just overall talent. Sing than Usher, but talent-wise, they're there together. And they could have got some other R&B acts to actually perform for Usher. Coop, Usher is from your city. What do you think about that, man? Did that even bother you?
I'm so glad that you asked. At first, I wasn't that. At first, I was like a little bothered by it. But I always try to take a step back. And when I look at it from a stylistic perspective, and I want people to hear me out, this is something in terms of interpretation and creative mindset that the Grammys would do. So as far as the intention, I actually love the intention because the intention is showing a deeper level of thought about putting things together for a Black show. So I like the intention because of that. Does that make sense? Fundamentally, what they're trying to do is very sound because that means they're thinking. That means they're challenging. That means they're pushing barriers. That means they're actually having legitimate, like bona fide, this creative-minded discussions about how to build out this tribute, which means it's moving in the right direction. But did I love seeing all women perform Usher songs and the only guy who actually sung was Childish Gambino? Well, hell no, I didn't necessarily like that part of it. I feel like, especially because of how the way Usher's songs are put together, you could have done both.
That's what. Yeah.
And that would have put it over the top. But since they made a list of women and had them perform, I have a quick list that I'd like to read of the men who should have performed instead, maybe.
Oh wow.
Or performed with these ladies.
Wow.
For You Don't Have to Call. I feel like that's the start of the show. It's super important. Chris Brown needs to come out and sing You Don't Have to Call.
Absolutely.
That would set the show off.
Yeah.
That would set the stage on fire.
Everyone going crazy.
Don't have to call. Everybody be going crazy. Tell me I'm wrong.
Screaming. Everything is going wild.
Yeah, it's going wild. Everybody's up on their feet immediately if that scene starts and it's Chris Brown standing there.
Absolutely.
Yo,
totally different.
Time out. I like where you're going with this, Coop, because if you're breaking it down artists by songs, yeah, I like where you're going with this.
I sure am. For You Make Me Wanna, I say Neo should have came out and sang You Make Me Wanna.
Nice.
With the hat on. No hat. Yeah.
What?
He got
no white either.
A fucked up head. Like no hat. Like keep his hat on. But yeah, right. Neo with the hat.
For the We Still Good record, the new record, Bryson Tiller.
Yep.
Yes.
I've been tough.
It's a balance. Yes.
For There Goes My Baby, the pick should be R. Kelly, but we know where that nigga is.
Is it R. Kelly?
Yeah, it should be R. Kelly singing There Goes My Baby.
I don't support that one. I don't support that one.
No.
But I don't really think R. Kelly would be one to honor Usher, though.
No. That's why I put Trey Songz. R. Kelly should be the one singing the song. But
Trey Songz would be a good one. I would say Trey Songz or Mario. That would be my pick for that one.
Trey Songz got a lot going on, too, though. He got a lot going on right now.
Well, that's funny that you bring that up. I thought that the next song, Superstar, should be a 2-part piece. And I picked Mario and October London to sing it together.
You're cooking right now, Coop.
You are cooking.
I know a little bit. I told you I could be an A&R.
October London is underrated.
Yeah, but Superstar is the type of ballad that like he could sing like a different octave, and Mario could come with some of like the inflection and intent. Like I think that would be a good pairing.
That's my favorite.
The way Usher shit goes, it's like you could put 2 people and pair them with the songs, and they could go back and forth bars.
Yeah, that's true. That's my favorite Usher song, by the way.
One of my favorite record. He took it to a different level on that one. Yeah.
It's almost like his I Believe I Can Fly in a lot of ways.
It is.
That's twice you done brought up R. Kelly, but go ahead.
It's okay. Everybody knows I hate R. Kelly. He's a nasty bastard. So Avant for Kisser.
Avant, man. I ain't heard nobody say Avant's name in a while.
I forgot about Avant.
Yeah. I thought about this. I sincerely listened to the records and thought about who else could sing these records.
That's a good pick, Coop.
That's a great pick.
I like Genuine for Nice and Slow as long as he can stay on stage.
He can stay on stage and not wind up but so much. Yes.
But he can sing Nice and Slow.
Yes.
And like that whole mix, it's like he could have broke out some of the moves one time.
Yes.
This is what I think is my best pick. I think Jamie Foxx should sing Bad Girl.
That's a good one.
It's outside of the box. I like it, though. I like it.
But we're getting towards the end of the show. So the way you got see, you have to think about it in the way of setting it off, too. If Chris Brown is setting it off, we got to end it strong. And so Chris Brown would be like, but then when Jamie comes on, same effect, but towards the end, and then you go into and you make it a collaborative group effort where everybody who's performed comes in and does
But
that's good.
BT, you watching this? We
send that to me. I'm gonna put it on a format and put it on.
Yeah.
Send it over to me.
I sincerely thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, Coop. No lie, that's dope.
Yeah. And everybody sing because that's the banger. Everybody sing the banger together.
Everybody. Bring Luda out there. Bring everybody. Bring Lil Jon out there. It's a tribute. Bring Jermaine Dupri out there. It's a tribute.
But like I said, love the intention and fundamentally where it's going. They just need to hire me and I'll fix all this shit.
They do.
Let me ask y'all this. Like in a lot of those tribute cases, I'm asking because I genuinely don't know. Is the artist team involved in making some of those picks? Like, well, Usher has a reverence for this person or that person, and he would like for this person to represent him or whatever. So if you can get him, that would be great. Like, or did BET just take everything into their own hands? Like, how does that usually work, if y'all know?
So normally it's up to the network. The network, they're the ones who put it together. They get very little input from the artist. The artist can say, hey, I would like for this not to happen versus this to happen. But BET was say on how it's going to be. Those who they already got to commit and those who they are trying to get to commit in that process.
Okay.
Because they're funding all of that. That's part of their whole scheme, right? So they're bringing the playbook to him and his handlers and saying, hey, this is how we're going to play it. And this is why. So they're seldom on an idea why they want to do it.
Yeah. But back in the day, man, like a lot of stuff made sense. You had Michael Jackson honoring James Brown. You had Usher honoring Michael Jackson.
Hold on. That's the difference. See, James Brown and Michael Jackson, as much as I love Usher, well, he's not quite at that level. And when you are at that level, you call your own shot.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
You feel me? So if Michael Jackson is coming out to do a show, you're not about to tell Mike how it's about to go.
Absolutely.
Mike's about to tell you without you even asking how it's about to happen when he comes out on the stage. And, no,
that's well documented.
No. The lights will need to be right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, the bass line need to drop like this when I do this move. Like when I do this move, the bass line go with me like this. Are you keeping up with me?
He would say that too.
Are you keeping up with me? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And that's why they keep some ambiguity going on with that, because they don't want the artist to get so ingratiated.
Well, you have to be big, but you have to be big enough to call that shot, and very few artists have been big enough to call those types of shots. But James and Brown and Michael Jackson are pretty much at the top of that list. James Brown just ain't gonna do it just because he's a nigga. You know what I'm saying, James? What?
Yeah.
No, we go like this.
Yes. So
yeah, so you're not doing that to them. Different days, different times, different level artists, different
absolutely.
Yeah.
And they want to keep
speaking of which, oh, my fault.
No, I said they want to keep it ambiguous because they don't want to have to go back and forth with an artist like that. Because an artist like that want things to be perfect. That's part of their legacy. So that's someone who has who's perfection, who's thinking intentionally about what their track listing will look like. What does that lineup look like? Who's singing this? How are they going to sing it? They will never get it done because they will never be on the same page. So it's very ambiguous until they bring it the final script and say, hey, we're going to honor you. Sit back and relax and just take this honor.
Look here. If Prince was here to actually see his tributes, he would make everybody pull all-nighters and feed them nothing but water and bread for 2 days until they got it right.
I was getting ready to bring up Prince. It's situations like this that make me upset since Prince is gone. I would love to see a tribute and then Prince and her on stage together just rocking out. That would be insane.
Yeah. Did we get all the super chats?
I'm not sure. I can't see them on my feed. Tracy G with the $20 super chat. We appreciate you. Ross was for real cloud chasing and thought he was going to ride off into the sunset, and Canada showed him this ain't the internet. The people better stop playing with Drake. Canada loves Drake regardless of what the internet says.
Canada said you're not like us either. That's what he said.
And he probably thought he was safer because he was in Vancouver and not actually Toronto. But Canada's still Canada. So
Drake is Canada's biggest treasure.
Representative. Yeah. Andrew Williams with another $2 super chat. We appreciate you. Ross got that number 4 at KFC and Grandma Biscuit.
He was like, "Yo, get me out of here."
He got that. He got that Wingstop 4-piece lemon pepper with the flats.
Facts.
And the drumsticks.
Yes.
Drumsticks.
So, fellas, before we get up out of here, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it was written. 28th year anniversary.
Say it.
Greatest hip hop artist of all time. One of the dopest albums. One of the most creative albums that ever hit stores.
Don't be stealing the quotes, man.
I'm supposed to do.
You said it like it was your own. I'm just
Like,
saying.
you know how I do it though? See, I kind of lean back, like you saw the dramatics behind it. Like I just kind of lean back. Yo, I don't know, man. Sometimes I am out of
Sean be doing
control.
some nasty work, man. Like y'all don't be catching it, but he do stuff like this all the time. It's wild.
Yo, man.
I love it when y'all do this shit. It's so
dirty.
entertaining to me. I don't
It's
know how
crazy.
everybody else feels. I just know that I'm thoroughly entertained when y'all do this shit. Never change.
Yo.
Never change, guys. Never
Yo,
change.
AG a hater, man. AG just a hater. That's all it is. So, AG, since you want to piss some
Talk that shit. Right.
Yeah.
Talk that shit.
you kick us off.
What can I say, man? Like Sean quoted the GOAT. It's one of the most creative LPs ever to hit stores. Nah, real talk. I think it was written as arguably hip hop's most lyrical album that's enjoyable. And what I mean by that is it's a great vibe from front to back, but it's so lyrically dense. And most albums that's this lyrically dense is not as enjoyable. You know what I mean? I think it's a few albums that fit that description. It Was Written as one of them. Cuban Links will be another one, and so on and so forth. But for me, this is my favorite. And, I made a post on Twitter, like, to me, 96, you can argue all day which album is better. It Was Written or Illmatic. But for me, 96 is when Nas hit his peak as a writer and his peak as an MC. For me, that was his zenith. I personally put 96 Nas, if we're talking about in a vacuum, because people talk about 97 Hove and whatever. If we're talking about in a vacuum, I think 96 Nas is the greatest rapper to ever to walk planet Earth, point blank, period. And the only person who I would put probably second, I would maybe put 97 Big second, but that's just me. But the bridge from Illmatic to It Was Written, with the features, you can see the ramp up of where he was going in 96 with the mafioso style, and then the storytelling and the imagery with his features on Eye for an Eye, Verbal Intercourse, Fast Life, More Money, More Murder, More Homicide on AZ's joint. You could see the ramp up of where he was going, and then it all culminated on It Was Written. And I just think, he recently got to sit down and talk to Martin Scorsese and have an interview, with him and Robert De Niro. But for me, It Was Written album, that's Nas being Martin Scorsese. You know what I mean? To me, that's his masterpiece. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the storytelling ability, the whole album is pure cinema from front to back. And yeah, like as a 15-year-old, that album was everything to me, man. It's like I hold it near and dear, and it's one of the greatest albums of all time to me.
Super chat.
Anthony Perkins, appreciate the $5 super chat. He said It Was Written is better than Illmatic to me. I heard It Was Written first, and I heard It Was Written first. That could be the reason why. Yeah, if that was your first introduction to Nas, it was a hell of an introduction.
Absolutely. I think it was an introduction to a lot of people, though. I mean, I know we talked about that before in the past, where a lot of people, that was their first time really hearing Nas like that in full capacity. You had to go back and listen to Illmatic after processing It Was Written. I know for me, when Illmatic first came out, I was like 13 when Illmatic came out, 13, 14 when Illmatic came out. And I'm sorry, I just turned 14 because it was in April. And it was just so dense. It was very difficult for me to follow at that time. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I got to 96, I'm 16 now, and listening to It Was Written, it was such a masterclass that it allowed me to better process Illmatic, if that makes sense. Because I started studying what Nas was really saying on It Was Written, like from the beginning to the end. I was playing the tape at the time. I was playing the tape back and forth, because I was trying to process every lyric that he was saying, every pattern, how
And
he
you
was.
had the lyrics in the CD and the cassette tape, so I'm just reading.
It was just reading, and I was
Yep.
just because I was writing a lot during that time. I was doing a lot of writing during that time, and that helped me write a lot of stuff, like not just rap lyrics, but I was just writing because during that time I was trying to figure out if I wanted to pursue the basketball thing or if I want to be the rapper, and it was
Here
like
we go
which
with the
one?
basketball thing.
Cool, I'm a beast. Cool. Next show I'm gonna show the footage next show. You know what I mean? But
Find
when
out.
AG and I did like a It Was Written versus Ready to Die and got some people panties in a bunch after we did that actual show. And it showed how far in advance that Nas was spitting and how it sonically stood out amongst a stellar album that we consider in Ready to Die, that we
Mhm.
consider to be a top tier. Like Coop said earlier, all class not created equal. It was a top tier classic, that Nas's second album, that people try to shoot holes in. I don't know why. They try to come up with this bullshit rhetoric around it. When in our reality, it was one of the most creative albums that ever came out during that time. Because
Mhm.
you elevated from the who's who of producers in Illmatic,
Mhm.
and you upgraded that system and got the who's who from 95 to 96. Now, if
Yep.
you guys can remember, 95, 94, 95, and 96, there were very little albums that came out that were not great. You had either really, really good to great to classic albums from a
Mhm.
lot of artists from 94, 95 to 96. So the stakes were higher, the competition was higher, the musical output was higher. Everything was on a higher clip. And here comes It Was Written. Even from the promotion, One Life, One Love, so there can only be one king. That was
Mhm.
plastered all over New York at the time.
Mhm.
He was sending a message letting y'all know it's only one king.
The battle cry.
Thank you.
The battle
Bingo.
cry.
To everybody, even
Yeah.
Jay,
Yeah. No, Jay, Big, Pac. It's a battle cry.
All of them.
everybody, all of them, except
He
the guy
he
who brought
dissed them
home.
all on the opening song on the record. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, 50
All
Cent's
three of them.
Millennium, Bill's
I'm
Texas
gonna let
Dream,
you.
the party
I'm
with
gonna let.
feelings.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
let you niggas know one thing. It's a
yeah,
battle cry. That's a mantra.
yeah.
That's a mission statement. A
That's the
Yeah.
thesis.
mission. Cool.
Yeah.
In the video, he elects One Life, One Love, so there can be one king. Snap his finger. That's it.
Yeah. Nothing left to say.
Nothing left.
Shots fired.
Woo! That's it.
Shots
You
fired.
remember how that video went?
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Wallabies on a limo.
Yeah. That video was crazy.
Shots fired.
Man, what you got, Coop? I want to hear Coop break this down. I want to hear vintage Coop. I don't want to hear this Kendrick Coop. I want to hear vintage Coop. Imagine if I had a goatee on the other side of you right now.
Man, so
No disrespect intended.
so yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
That's crazy. My bad, man. My bad.
Man.
I'm working through it.
So the reason that I often compare Illmatic to Michelangelo doing the Sistine Chapel is because Michelangelo didn't do something different than what had been done before by Raphael. He just upgraded it. So the story that Illmatic is telling is a story that's been told. It's been told by Cool G Rap and Rakim and KRS-One and Slick Rick and
Yeah.
Chuck D. Like the story's been told by the classic New York MCs that precede him. It's the culmination of that procession. Okay? So when I'm comparing Illmatic to the Sistine Chapel, it's not just in terms of when I talk about the color of it, it's also in terms of the format of how it was designed. It was designed like the ultimate 80s rap album on steroids.
Facts.
It's like, no, I'm gonna go get this guy to do these beats and this guy to do like, it's surgical and it's precision, just like Michelangelo's hand on the Sistine Chapel. It was written as Michelangelo's David. You understand what I'm saying? It's that piece of work that you can't deny, even if you didn't get to go see the Sistine Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe you weren't lucky enough to go because it's not like there are pictures just like floating around of the Sistine Chapel the way there are pictures floating around of Michelangelo's David. It was written as his Michelangelo's David. It's that piece of work where the sculpting, the precision is so precise, so profound, so ahead of his time. He proved himself as an artist to be superior in that moment. Michelangelo doing the Sistine Chapel isn't his superiority moment. It's his initial claim to greatness. Michelangelo's David is the solidification of that. Same thing with It Was Written. Oh no, it's solidified now. It's like no. He can't just he can paint the frescoes on the ceiling, but he can also sculpt out a whole body from a piece of marble, like by himself, just like up here in his mind. That's what It Was Written is, like artistically. Lyrically speaking, I only put Let the Rhythm Hit It and Life After Death on par with it. I agree with you, AG. I think that it is the finest piece of lyrical work ever created. Literally, Let the Rhythm Hit Him and Life After Death are the only ones that come to mind. Big because of such the array of flows, content, storytelling, just that total package.
Yep.
The total package of it. Let the Rhythm Hit Him, bar for bar, is the only thing on par with It Was Written to me. And I find Nas's thought process on It Was Written to be more expansive and more intricate and more storytelling oriented than Let the Rhythm Hit Him. And that's why I give it the edge over Let the Rhythm Hit Him. Life After Death is more expansive than It Was Written, but I also feel like because of the back and forth between the two, competitively speaking, that there are songs on Life After Death inspired by It Was Written. And so about the inspirational factor, because they're in competition with each other, I would have to put It Was Written ahead of it, because when I hear niggas bleed, it's like, oh no, he's listening to the setup off It Was Written like I am. Because it's the same story, except for where Big had a lot of comedian in him, and so like Niggas Bleed is different at the end in the setup, because Big's not going to win lyrically with Nas, but he can win comedic value wise, and so the stories are similar in a lot of ways, but it ends more comedic with Big. Well, Big's the funnier guy.
It's the charisma. Yeah,
he's more charismatic and he's funny. And so he used that to his advantage, but I can hear that It Was Written being listened to in it. I hear that. Yeah, I hear that. And so it's the finest lyrical performance of all time. It has a little bit of everything. It has some low-key shots, just on some rap shit, live nigga rap with Mobb Deep.
Yep.
Affirmative action with Nas, with AZ, Cormega, and Fox.
Yeah.
It's got I Gave You Power, which I think like bar for bar might be the best mic performance ever when you include a hook. Take It in Blood. I feel like everybody knows this that knows me. Like the first song that I play on my birthday every year is Take It in Blood. It's literally like that record for me.
My personal favorite Nas song.
Yeah, the original version, Silent Murder, to me is a top 20 Nas song, maybe top 10. It's like that on Silent Murder.
Top 10.
CD.
Top 10.
Yeah, Silent Murder might be a top 10 song. So think about it. It's like, well, I Gave You Power, Take It in Blood, Silent Murder, Live Nigga Rap, The Setup.
Are those your top 5, Coop?
What, from the album?
From the album, yeah.
I'd have to think about that. Hold on, let me finish one thought and I'll tell you that. Like, and for all that being said, for all the lyrical intricacy, for all the content, for all the wordplay, for all the great pairing with guest appearances appropriately, you still had hits on there too.
Still had hits.
Like Street Dreams Remix is a hit. Street Dreams is a hit. If I Rule the World is a hit. Like, not a little hit, like big hit, like a triple and a home run. And then the remix is like getting another triple again. So like big hits. And so it literally has some of everything. The one thing that you can say is that it's not produced as well as Illmatic. Well, Illmatic had Pete Rock, DJ Premier, and Large Professor and Q-Tip. It's literally unrealistic at this stage, knowing what we know now.
Absolutely.
To think that was a fair trade-off. I feel like the star of this album production-wise is Havoc, because I feel like what he gave Nas on the setup and Live Nigga Rap brought out a different type of Nas that helped round out this album and make this album truly special. This album is not the same without those two Havoc beats. It's not. For as great as it is, it's not the same. Like, he needed those two records specifically.
Yes.
He's different when he raps alongside the Mob.
He's different when he raps over Havoc's beats.
He had to. He had to, because Prodigy was nipping at the boots. Prodigy was for real.
Oh, but his verse on Live Nigga Rap is he's somewhere else.
Out of here.
Somewhere else.
When he rhymed Mausoleum, I was done. I was like, yo, he's the greatest.
He's letting you know, you're doing that. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when he used Mausoleum, he actually took some of P's swing and how P would like inflect and make words like conjugate and rhyme together. So he actually took some of P's style on that record and made it his own. He just did it better than P. Well, he's the greatest MC of all time. I agree with AG as well. 96 Nas is the best MC I've ever heard in my life.
Absolutely.
Like period. like nobody's fucking with that guy. Because if you go back, and here's the thing about the album that people mix, go back and listen to the hooks. We know lyrically who he is now on that album, and it's the rarest of rarefied air. But go listen to the hooks. The
How
hooks
high
are
would
there
you
too.
rank the "I Gave You Power" hook? That's my personal favorite hook of all time.
It's to me, it's a top 10 hook. Like if you actually like
It's
listen
up there.
to how it goes with the song. Like how about this? A hook is supposed to bring a song together and make it cohesive.
There you go. Yep.
What song? There aren't too many rap songs where the hook brings the story together and brings the cohesion and makes you understand the conceptual angle of it. And this is what I mean about it being understood. When he's giving you the hook, you understand what he's saying and what he's talking about, even if you don't understand before.
Mm-hmm. It's an extension of his verses.
It ties you back into it.
It pulls it all together. That's what a hook is supposed to do. A hook is supposed to pull the fucking song together. If you don't have a hook, you can just go rap and make your point and make. You get what I'm saying? You can just go for 48, 96. Do the fuck ever you right.
Yes.
Like you can just get busy and do that if that's the case. So it's the most special rap album. Also in the regard that I don't think any album that came out has grown into the type of classic that this has grown into. Like every 10 years, this classic kind of hits a new level. It seems like every 5 to 10 years, maybe it hits like a classic level where it's like, damn, it's even higher than I thought it was. Like you can play it next to Ready to Die and be like, oh shit, is this better Ready to Die? It sounds sacrilegious to say it because we're indoctrinated a certain way about Ready to Die. But when you go and you're like, oh shit, it's like, no, like, you know, the high moments on Ready to Die are competing with It Was Written, but it's like from beginning to end, it's like that guy's hard to beat because he's the best rapper that we've ever heard. Hard to beat the best rapper that you've ever heard for a year, for an
But we
album.
were all around. We were all around. Retroactively, I think people are giving it a fair listen now with new ears because people were quick to hate on it because it wasn't Illmatic. That's why I think, to your point, Coop, and you're exactly right. The legend of It Was Written has grown over the years, you know, exponentially. So
because the generations that have come after and listened to it, a lot of them are like, no, I like that shit more. That's what happened. When he came out, everybody was like, oh, this ain't Illmatic.
They have no foreign biases.
Everybody after us is like, what's this Illmatic? It Was Written is the best shit I ever heard.
Yeah, they don't have no foreign biases. They listen with fresh ears, you know.
Right.
But that's what I mean about it being undeniable. It's like, no, people go to Italy and never go to the Sistine Chapel and never go see Michelangelo's David, but they can tell you what Michelangelo's David looked like better than they can the Sistine Chapel. It was written. It was written. Yeah.
Super chat from Anthony Perkins, $5. Appreciate it. It Was Written is better than Illmatic. To me, I heard It Was Written first. That could be the reason why. Oh, we already read that one. So 007 with the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. It Was Written is the best album of 96 and probably top 25 of all time. You have to talk about his 95 feature run. That's what led to It Was Written. Yeah, I mentioned that 007. You could hear the ramp up when you hear the verbal intercourse, I-49, when he adopted the Escobar persona, going back and forth with Cool G Rap on Fast Life, the imagery he painted on More Money, More Murder, More Homicide with AZ, and going into the Firm era. Like, I mean, it was a clear and evident ramp up from Illmatic for me. You know what I mean? Michael Williams with the $5 super chat. Big on Life After Death is the greatest overall mic performance of all time. He ran the gamut like no one else before or since. Big did everything. I'm not mad at that take. That version of Big is who I would put as a close second, like Coop alluded to. Andrew Williams with the $2 super chat. 96 Nas is the best MC ever. The GOAT Watch them is my favorite. Yeah, that's one of them ones. Coop, what was your top 5 from the album?
I love the setup. Everybody knows I love the setup. That's my shit.
Mm-hmm.
The setup, Take It in Blood, Silent Murder, I Gave You Power, And then after that, I would say it's a toss up between Shootouts or Live Nigga Rap. But I'd probably take, I don't know, Shootouts is tough. I love
We
Live Nigga Rap.
we we almost have the same five because I don't got to watch them niggas in my five, but Taking the Blood is my favorite Nas song of all time. I think that's the best lyrical performance ever on a record. So I got that one. Two, I would have to say, I Gave You Power. Like I said, my favorite hook of all time, and just the conceptual genius of it. Three, I would go Silent Murder. I do think is the top 10 Nas song overall. And if you were around to have the cassette tape, you were one of the lucky ones because people with the CD was mad. And I remember I copped the import CD like later on. It cost some bread. It was like damn near $50 to cop that joint, but I wanted it to have it on CD because I love the song that much. And then
I
number
did that
4,
twice.
yeah. If you're a fan, yeah, you gonna spend some bread.
But I worked at the record store, so it was $32.99 for me.
Oh, you came off easy. Number 4, like you, I would say Shootouts. Love Shootouts and the storytelling, and the beat to Shootouts is crazy. Love that beat. And number 5 for me would be Live Nigga Rap. He raps different with the mob, and he spazzed out on that last verse. Most people will probably put The Message in their top 5, but the 5 that I just named is the ones that I go back to the most. The Message is arguably a top 5 rap song from Nas, period, but I don't revisit as much as those other ones.
Think about it. Like,
my number one.
had this whole conversation and didn't talk about The Message. So
right.
Here's the thing that's really, really special about It Was Written to Me in terms of even what it could have been. You understand that like the reason that I love the setup so much is that Havoc actually gave Nas a mob beat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Hell on Earth worthy beat. Now Live Nigga Rap is dope, but Live Nigga Rap beat wise it's not as avant-garde in terms of classic Havoc that the Hell on Earth track is. Setup beat wise fits on Hell on Earth.
Actually, have said Live Nigga Rap was supposed to be on Hell on Earth, but Nas wanted it for his album.
I can see why.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that.
You say yes. I'm saying beat wise, it doesn't sound in frame of. Imagine 2 or more 3 beats from Have if he's not working on Hell on Earth, and 2 or 3 less of those tracks from Track Masters that people were complaining about. I think that was one of those things where it's like, oh no, 2 or 3 more tracks from Havoc could have actually taken this album higher than where it is. And it literally keeps going higher and higher. Like when it came out, it was like somewhere around 70. And then it was like 50. And then it was like 44. And then it was like 37. Then it was like 25. Now it's like, oh shit, that might be like 14 or 15.
Yeah. And to your point, Coop, those songs might exist because Nas said he got a lot in the Sony vaults with Havoc. You know what I mean? So some stuff might have got cut from the album, but I'm not mad at the job that the Track Masters did. I think they got a bad rap, but I think they did an excellent job. Primo, his one submission was crazy. Stretch, Stretch to produce Taking the Blood and Silent Murder, you know what I mean? Those is 2 of the standouts on the album. That was great. But Trap Masters did their thing. Matter of fact, Trap Masters, shout out to them. My favorite beat of all time is a Trap Masters record. I Shot Your Remix. That's my favorite beat of all time.
But here's also the thing, if we're being honest. No, there's not the beats on Illmatic are better. And I think that's really what people were really talking about at the end of the day. If you're a traditional hip hop head and this is your traditional go-to hip hop artist, there's something about the beats on Illmatic that resonate more with this hip hop culture in its purest form than It Was Written does. So I don't think Track Masters did a bad job. I think they did a great job because here's the thing. They did what they were supposed to do, which was elevate his profile just on a beat by beat basis. That's why I bring up Havoc and why Havoc is so key to me, because it's like, oh no, those 2 beats that he gave Nas changed the composition of even beat wise how that album sounds, because that fits more in that classic hip hop mold. People gravitated towards Nas for and still do to this day.
It's a feel, but It Was Written had that gloss on it.
It did, but okay, so real quick, that's why the setup is my favorite song, is because it's like, no, he stripped the gloss down on that song and he just got busy with it. My mindset, sun got wet. I'm vexed, really.
Snap
Smack this bitch silly. One day get back to Nilly, word to Willie. About
Really
to
gonna feel it.
I feel it. We should have been dealt with it.
Right.
Flour. They put too much flour in their coat.
Got the
Got the dirt and wonder why they broke.
Yo, he's wild on there.
Going crazy on there.
He's
crazy.
talking crazy on there, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant's the word. Errol Holmes with the $2 super chat. DJ Clue Foulness freestyles. Yo, those joints is fire. Sean, I was going to ask you your top 5, but real quick, I'm glad Coop brought up the feeling of the songs, because if you remember going into 95, once again, I'm bringing up that feature run, which I think is the greatest feature run of all time. Yeah. The feel of those records are more in the vein of It Was Written. You could tell his transition of what he was moving to with that mafioso, but just right before you get the eye for an eyes, the verbal intercourse where he hits the Escobar persona, we get one-on-one on the Street Fighter soundtrack, which the feeling of it is more in the vein of Illmatic. You know what I mean? So it's a clear line of transition in Nas's, where he was headed as an MC. And I think it's pretty fascinating.
Absolutely.
007 with the $2 super chat. When do you think the shortfall, what do you think the shortfalls of It Was Written was? I mean, I'm biased. Like, I don't think Black Girl Lost was a bad record. I don't think that Nas Is Coming is a bad record. Yes, Drake could have gave better production, but it's not a song I skip on. It Was Written.
Those are the bad records. What does that tell you about the album? Those are the bad
right. Exactly.
Like, we didn't even talk about Suspect, nigga. Don't come outside.
Yeah.
Get your shit back tonight.
Yeah.
Like, yo, that album's crazy. That's what I mean. For people talk about all the gloss, it's like, no, there's grit on that album. There's I Gave You Power.
Yeah, it's really a dark album. It's a dark album.
There's Suspect. He's still talking about the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a dark album.
It's still neighborhood talk. It's just now the kid that was looking out the window is pulling up in the motherfucking 676 Benz. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just different. It's like, no, nigga done made it out the hood, but the hood is still like, like with you. You can leave your environment, but your environment can't leave you, because once it becomes a part of you, it's inside of you. It Was Written is the part of the neighborhood. Like, Illmatic is the gift that got him out of the neighborhood. On It Was Written, you can see very much that the neighborhood is still very much inside him. Even his first song is about what he would do if he ruled the world. Most of the talk on there is about what he would do for Black people, not even himself. So
there you
go.
go.
The neighborhood is in effect. The neighborhood is in effect.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah. 007, man, appreciate you, man, with another $5 super chat. Prodigy said live rap was put on It Was Written instead because they knew Nas was going to sell and they wanted the exposure. Hey, that's all the better reasoning, for real. Yeah. That was a smart move. Sean, what you got on your top 5, bro? I didn't want to skip over your joints.
I think the message is the one to me. I've always said the message was the tone setter. It was the right tone setter for the entire album. Not only that, it was the right tone setter for the climate of hip hop during that time, and the climate of New York during that time, and the climate of Queens during that time, because there was a lot going on in New York, in hip hop, in Queens, all those things. He was in the middle of all of that, because you had people hating, you had people that was, you had some jealousy going on, lines were drawn. He was running with Ray and Golson on those guys over in Staten Island at that time. You know what I mean? And Mobb Deep, of course, at that time. So lines are being drawn very visibly, during that era of hip hop. And the message was him letting them know that I'm the one. I'm the one. Forget what you hear, because there was a lot of bad boy talk during that time. Rest in peace, Big. But Big was getting a lot of love in 94 and 95 because of the radio-friendly joints. Whereas you had the Nas, you had the Raekwon, you had the Prodigy, Mobb Deep, weren't getting that much radio spin. Everything was being like really predicated by the bad boy movement.
He was trapped in the middle. He was trapped in the middle. He was bigger than Ray and Prodigy, but he's not as big as Big. But he's like, but I'm the better MC than all these guys.
I'm the better MC.
I'm overground and underground. It's never been seen.
Never been seen. Said it. And that's 96. 96 was a clear depiction of that, being underground and overground at the same time, because no one wanted. They didn't. That's the sad thing about it. They didn't want him to make a joint like If I Ruled the World.
See,
It's
here's the
crazy.
thing about it. So here's the thing about it. If he makes Illmatic again, it hurts his entire career trajectory.
Yes.
The part
It
nobody
hurt.
ever talks about. It hurts his
Yeah.
career trajectory.
Yeah.
He can't keep making. He can't keep making albums for niggas trapped in '88. I don't know how else to put it.
You
It's not
can't.
'88 anymore. It's '96.
You
Yeah.
He has to
can't.
survive in today's climate. Illmatic is. I told you, Illmatic is the culmination of a time capsule of a rap climate for the East Coast.
Absolutely.
He's in a
Absolutely.
different world. He's in a different world almost right after Illmatic comes out because he's crunched between Ready to Die and Doggy Style.
Yes. Cool. He was, by the time we got to It Was Written, he was light years ahead of his peers in real time. And we don't see, we still don't understand. Think about this. He made I Give You Power. No one has made a song like that ever before
Which
that time.
inspired me and my girlfriend.
Me and my
It's been
girlfriend.
well documented that Pac studied It Was Written. Like
Yeah.
for somebody that was you was considering to be your op, you're studying it. Like Nas was that good that Pac was studying It Was Written.
I think it was
Pac is
written.
ahead. Pac loves Rakim and Chuck D. It's only
Yeah.
so of course he
It
hears
makes-
if you can't come up on a Chuck D and a Rakim and not appreciate the music that Nas makes. That's literally
Absolutely.
the same vein of
Absolutely.
MCing and rapping. So yeah,
Right.
Bingo.
look, fellas, I got to slide.
That's
If y'all
right.
want to wrap up, if y'all want to
Yeah.
wrap up without me, y'all can. Or
Oh,
you
sorry,
tell me-
you finish your thought or whatever. We wrap up.
Yeah, and Coop. I know Coop got to get out of here. We're gonna come back tomorrow. We're gonna spin it back again tomorrow. And we also have a station head that we're working on right now as well. Trife Boogie and Ayana are going to talk about the actual the concert. We're doing some plugs on that as well. So look out for the promo for that. Coop, I know you have to get up out of here. AG, we can wrap everything up and just let everybody know where to catch us and find us. Coop, we appreciate you, bro.
Peace, cool.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Peace. Yo, AG, what we can do, man, we'll finish up real quick and then we can get out of here. But just my final thoughts on that. Like, to me, the message was the one that set the tone. Everything that It Was Written did, in my opinion, was groundbreaking during that time because no one had Dr. Dre on the East Coast. And this was the first time that Dre actually came and produced for an East Coast artist during that time as well. And I know I know he get flack for Nas Is Coming. I thought that Nas Is Coming was one of the dopest records that was on It Was Written when I first heard it. When I first heard it, I'm like, yo, Nas on a Dre beat is bonkers. And just being able to have that. So that was that's like my number two.
Real quick on that, Sean. Sorry to cut you off, but when people say Nas Is Coming is bad, it's for either one or two reasons. People say Drake could have gave him a better beat, or the hook is bad. Nobody ever says anything about what Nas is spitting on there. Like he's going crazy on that record.
He's going crazy on there. The Golden Child shot that ass up. You was holding out like he was going crazy on there. So, but you again, no one can say that the lyrics on anything on It Was Written was mid tier. It was all high clip. And this is coming off the heels of Illmatic, of the stellar run, of the feature run in '95, with everything else swirling, because he could have easily gone down that road of the popularity of Bad Boy. Because at that time, remember, a lot of the artists are trying to figure out how to compete with the Bad Boy sound. That was difficult. When you listen to Nas Is Coming and you hear what he's actually saying, the second to the third verse, apocalyptic. I mean, he's going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's letting you know, like Dr. Dre with the Brizzy, Shake Dice and Kiss It.
Yeah.
I mean, he's bridging so many different things in this song that I don't think he get enough credit for.
Yeah. And like during that time, like Drake was on a different production tip overall, because that was during the Aftermath era, and he was making these like real dark beats, because even Nas killed people don't talk about his feature on East Coast, West Coast Killers enough. You know what I mean? I think Nas killed that joint.
They don't talk about it.
But Dre's production at that time was, on a different vibe than what we were used to. So
it was sinister. It was sinister at that time.
But I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't want to hear Nas rapping over like, G Thing and them type beats. Not at all. Know what I'm saying? He gave, to me, Nas Is Coming, he gave Nas the flavor of beat that, you know, this is Dre's first time producing for a New York artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I think people, you know, kind of overly hate on that song. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So I'm glad you shouted that out as your number 2. You won't find too many people that do that.
Yeah, I love that song.
Mhm,
If I Ruled the World,
mhm,
biggest, one of the biggest joints ever,
mhm,
ever. And I felt like it was needed for this album to do what it did. I felt like, you know, if I ruled the world, if he didn't have that in the tuck, I don't know how much we would talk about it was written on a global aspect, not
mhm.
just a rap hip hop head aspect. I'm talking about an aspect of just universal. A lot of
It's his
people,
biggest record.
his biggest record. A lot of people
Yeah.
got introduced to Nas via
Mhm,
If I Ruled the World. And I think that was needed. So that's in my top 5. Of course, the setup is one of my joints, QB since 1933 to
mhm,
96. You know what I mean? Just to even
mhm,
kick it off like that was monumental to me. And I love shootouts. You know,
mhm.
shootouts is one of those joints because again, everything that you got, he checked all the boxes when it was written. Storytelling, concept, hooks, you
Yeah.
got bars, everything that you can think about what an MC should have in an album is
Mhm.
all there. And it's not discussed enough because they're still comparing it to something totally different, which is Illmatic.
Yeah.
So let's
And
get these.
his voice, like, I don't think people talk about that enough either. Like, you know, Nas is, but you can still hear his youth on Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? His voice
Yeah,
had matured a lot on It Was Written. And I think that, you know, it just sounded, it cut through the tracks more to me. Like, that's what I was hearing. To me, as great as
absolutely.
Illmatic is on It Was Written, it cut through the tracks more. And yeah, I mean, it was just overall like a great performance on that album. Shout out to
Yeah,
007 with the $10 super chat, man. You're on fire with the super chats, bro. We appreciate you.
appreciate you,
He
bro.
said the message set off the If I Ruled the World video. Nas was the one when Big died. Puff called Nas for the tour outside of the Bad Boy camp. Imagine if Pac doesn't die and does appeal to the
The
does
street,
appear in the Street Dreams video.
it'd
Yeah,
be
that would have been
crazy.
crazy because they were supposed to squash it in Vegas, and that's
Yep.
where that video was shot. Yeah, so good point out. 88 Spence, shout out to you with the $5 super chat. I remember buying it overseas and arguing on the ship, saying Bull is the illest. I mean, it
Yeah.
really was.
It was when I heard that when I first heard the message, you know, for me, I was like, yo, Queens is back. That
Hmm.
was my thing because although Illmatic was like that flag planted in the sand for Queens to be back in hip hop, and we had Mobb Deep, all of that, we just didn't have anyone that really said something that said,
Hmm.
you know, one life, one love, so there can only be one king.
Yeah.
Hearing that, we needed to hear that because again, we still talking about the bridge is over. You know what I mean? We're not
Yeah.
that far removed from the bridge is over. We less than 10 bullets, 10 years from the bridge is over. And now you got, you know, Queens is on Nas, who we consider the GOAT by the second. I consider him the GOAT by second album
Absolutely.
personally. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And for him to say that, one life, one love, so there can only be one king, you know, highlight some living, Vegas star roll dice some linen, and terror spinning on millennium. That's for
Yeah.
winning them, sending them. Next with TV, sex the minimum, ill sex adrenaline. He's talking his talk.
Yo,
And
I'm gonna just be straight up. Like, you know, Nas is a smoker, but whatever he was smoking during the It Was Written era had to be something different.
it's
Like, I'm just
crazy.
like the way he was writing with the imagery is like, listen to Take It in Blood. Like,
Look,
I mean, yeah, he
Can it
was
be
smoking something
vanity?
crazy when he wrote those lyrics,
Can it
man.
be vanity from Last Dragon? Everything is old, shit is
he
grimy.
was he was somewhere else on that one.
Somewhere else. No one else was doing that at that time. No
Yeah.
one else was doing that. And this is the era 95, 96, 94 was
Mm-hmm.
the era of hip hop when everything, almost everything was coming out was high clip. Everything was, everybody was bringing their best effort. Think about
Yeah.
it. We just talked about Reasonable Doubt last week for its 28th year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Only a week separates those two albums.
Yeah. 96 was stacked.
96 was that. You had Ghostface and Iron Man. We were still listening to On a Bill for Cuban Links. You know what I mean? We were really still listening to Ready to Die, the remixes, because it was all
Mm-hmm.
over the radio. We were still listening to Big from 95 and
Yep.
94.
Yep.
Pac was active
Pac
during that
ran
time.
96.
Pac ran 96.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy in 96. And here comes It Was Written. Best album, in my opinion, of 96. And you have Mobb Deep still rapping
I
at a
agree.
high clip. Still
I
rapping at a,
agree.
so that's our show, bruh. That's our show for the night.
Another
Easy
banger.
clip. Easy clip. Shout out to all of you who pull up for us tonight. Shout out to Coop. He had to take care of some things. We're going to pull up again tomorrow. Coop is going to pull up again tomorrow, and we're also going to do a station head to commemorate It Was Written. But we're also going to talk about the most recent concert with Nas that he just did with the orchestra. So we want to get back to the station head team and talk about that and play some music and just vibe out for 4th of July. We appreciate y'all. We really just want to come and do a show tonight. Wasn't trying to compete with nobody. Wasn't trying to step on nobody's toes. We just wanted to get the three of us, myself, AG, and Coop, on the same show for this week. Because AG got some things going on tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing some station head stuff tomorrow. So we just wanted to pull up and rock with you all tonight to talk about It Was Written and some of the things that's going on out there. So we really appreciate the love. We appreciate the super chats. I see you, G, out there with the super chat. We appreciate the $5 super chat. And pull up for us tomorrow on Station Head while you're cooking, glizzies on the grill and hamburgers on the grill. Pull up with us on the station Head. Listen to some good music. We're gonna vibe out. We're gonna talk about the concert. We're gonna share some insight, some deep insights on the concert as well, and talk about Nas' set from this most recent concert. So
We got family that was in the building.
We got family that was in the building.
Shout out to Trife and Fire.
Absolutely. Behind the scenes and all of those good things. So we're going to share some footage and talk about the good times that we had. We'll let you guys know. We'll send a promo out and let y'all know what time the station head. It's going to be right after the show tomorrow. So we got another clip, another extended clip. So shout out to all of you. Thank you for the super chat. Share, like, subscribe. Share, like, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we want to hear from y'all too. DM us on some of the things you want us to debate or talk about. Give us some ideas. Join our Discord and converse with us throughout the week, throughout the day. It's always live and popping, talking about hip hop and culture. Hip hop, hip hop Discord, hip hop talks Discord group as well. And show some more love. We appreciate y'all. AG, enjoy your 4th. Coop, you out there, enjoy your 4th, and all of you.
Same to you, bro.
No doubt. Don't eat too many glizzies, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Peace and love, y'all.